Time's up. Admiral.
Here it comes.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
What's the matter? Take yourself a great big bite of meat. Taste the pleasure of the highest quality pork around.
Yeah, I hit the wrong intro. I hit the wrong intro. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mellow Mondays, where I barely have a plan, and we just try to chill out, have a good time. You never know what's going to happen. Last week, we spent an hour and a half talking about a video game, so you never know what's going to happen. Devil, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Start of the week, just trying to get everything in order for the rest of the week. So,
Yeah, me too. It was one of those easy days where yesterday's topics on stream, when cut up properly, made good videos. So I didn't have to do that today. But I'm still trying to plan out the rest of the week because I'm trying to make sure that I can show up on time for Jed's Doctor Who recording next Saturday. Because I don't want to. I so screwed that up this weekend. I'm out. I'm doing shit. Now, I honestly thought it was later in the day. And I'm out doing stuff. And I feel my phone vibrating. I was expecting a text from my mom, so I didn't check it. And then I was walking into a store, and it's vibrating. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll check this one. Maybe this is what I'm waiting for, too. And it's Jed calling me. And he's like, dude, where are you? I go, huh? The show's starting. It is? Ah, shit. I'm not even close to being home. I'm out.
yeah, Dermy asked me if I wanted to be on next week, and I said, "Oh, I guess." And so now I need to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, it was bad. And to my keeping my promise, I watched it yesterday so that I could talk about it on Roundtable. And boy, that was bad. And I've been watching the Fallout today. I mean, I first of all, I cut down our conversation from yesterday. If you missed it on Roundtable, the edited version is up today. I shaved it down from 47 minutes to 24 minutes. So it's got all the pertinent stuff in it, none of the rambling. But I've been watching today the whole how do I phrase this properly? They're doing with it. All right, Del, you can understand this if I put it like this. You know how the fake Star Trek fans, the stands, the disco fans, all those guys, they like to say Star Trek was always woke. It was always so progressive. You've heard that a million times.
Yeah.
Star Trek guy. They're doing it with Doctor Who now. Like, oh, it was always woke. It was always trans friendly.
Well, the thing is there's different levels. Like I've said this before to people. Star Trek, we're watching the original series on Engage. They had stuff in there that they gave you the outer kind of how am I trying to word this? They gave you the message, but they didn't shove it in your face. They gave it to you in a way that you had like 50%, and then you had to go the other 50. But anybody with half a brain could figure it out. Like the episode where the aliens are half white, half black on one side, and then the same but they're reversed.
Yeah,
and they hate each other because of that. Obviously, it's talking about race.
It's the freaking 60s. That was the hot topic.
Yeah. Obviously, that's what they were talking about, but they didn't have to shove it in your face. Now they would make one alien purple, one alien green. The green alien would oppress the purple alien and have all these bad names for it. And the purple alien would be like, we just want freedom. And they would go so far that it's like, okay, you don't need to slap us in the face with your fucking message. We get it. We understood. Yeah. That's the problem with them, is they don't give it to you in little subtle things. They have to literally beat you in the face with it like you're stupid. They think of us as like children that they have to, educate. And it's so condescending and just annoying. And I think that's one of the reasons that we're winning now, is because I think the normies are catching on. I think the normies are like, not again. All these articles, every single time, the same article just repeated. Oh, white straight men are not watching our show because of racism and isms, and if you don't watch it, then you're one of those isms. It's just stupid.
And that episode from last week, this first episode in the 3 episodes that make up the Doctor Who 60th anniversary that will be airing long past the actual 60th anniversary, which is last week, it literally ham-fisted, shoved trans agenda in your face the entire
Mhm.
episode. And then at the very end, you have to sit there and watch David Tennant's Doctor, who is beloved. And even though it's not his original version, because 14 is different from 10, but you have to stand there and watch as he's told, you're not a good doctor, you're not a good Time Lord because you're a male presenting Time Lord, and us female presenting Time Lords or Meta Crisis Time Lords, we can handle this stuff better than you. We can do it better. We can let go of power. Your patriarchal needs must hold on to it. It's just, and when you're seeing it there with someone who is most definitely a man pretending to be a woman, it's just stupid.
Oh yeah.
To your point, the normies are catching on.
Yep.
They don't want to be lectured to.
Yep. When they used to have the stuff in there that, if you're a fan and you know of the message that they're always trying to shove in our mouth, you catch those things when you're watching shows. You'll sit there and go, "Oh, I see what they did there." Yeah, the person, don't assume my pronouns. We see these things and we catch them, but most normies, it just goes right past them. They don't even, they're not in deep enough in the lore and deep enough into it
No.
that they're catching all the little nuances that make us go, "What a bunch of shit."
Yeah. I mean, here's a good
But
example. Oh no, sorry.
yeah,
Sorry.
okay.
Sorry. No, I
Oh,
thought you were done. Finish your thought.
and so, but yeah, now like you said, it's become an allegory. It's become the entire show. The show is based around that, and they
Mhm.
shove in your face the entire time. So much the even normies are like, isn't that like the 50th time they've called her beautiful and amazing and fantastic? Like,
They did a drinking game on Jed's recording for that.
shit, for real.
I mean, Jesse the Common Nerd, when I got in, he was blasted when I showed up. He was so drunk from doing the drinking game that he was calling Russell T. Davies Chris Chibnall when he was ranting at the end. And that they had been drinking hard before I got there, because I showed up at the last 10 minutes because I got home. I quickly and fired up the computer, like, okay, I'm here. And I got there for the perfect moment. But all right, so I want to throw up a Star Trek thing that I know you'll get. Remember TNG season 7, the episode where you had the brother and sister alien who were trying to tell everybody that warp power is causing subspace disruptions. Remember that
Yeah,
episode?
the reason they made the restrictions.
Yeah, which lasted all of 2 episodes. Which you could just, in response, they think, well, I guess they rejiggered the warp drive so you can go warp 8, no problem. Anyway, so remember in that episode, the brother was the level-headed one. The sister was the, I guess, eccentric isn't the right word. She wasn't. She
Passionate?
was passionate,
Overly passionate?
zealous.
There's the word
Zealous.
there.
She was a zealot, and she kept trying to tell everybody, you have to do this, and their evidence was flimsy, but the only way she could do it to get everybody's attention was to cause a warp core breach from a shuttle, where they said the weak point was to cause a subspace tear. Now, when you go back in time, that period, that episode is clearly talking about what was then global warming, climate activism. It was a story about it was an allegory for climate politics. And to this day, you can watch that episode and say, okay, yes, obviously there was a problem. Her zealous actions, her crazy or over the top move to kill herself to cause it to make it happen revealed it and it forced everybody to pass a law in the Federation. Don't go any faster than warp 5, which again they abandoned 2 episodes later. But at the same time, even though the problem was revealed, the show makes it very easy to criticize. Yes, but your actions, the actions of the zealot scientist, only made it worse because she only created the problem in full explosion by exploding herself.
Yep.
And that's an episode that perfectly encapsulates what we're talking about. They gave you the problem based on a current day situation, an allegory for a current day topic, and they gave you all the points.
Yep.
And you can still come to your own conclusions.
Yep. It's all about, like I said, I have no problem with shows having modern day stuff in it, but give it to the people and let them make up their own mind. Let them, figure it out in whatever way you're delivering it. You don't have to beat people over the head, and you don't have to make them the bad guy for not agreeing with you.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it, is they make anybody who disagrees into the villain, into you're awful if you don't think that the trans girl in the new Doctor Who is the most amazing character you have ever seen, even though from all accounts, I haven't seen this, I'm just going off what people have told me, is she's lame. She acts awful. Like when she sees the spaceship, everyone says it's like she's just like so monotone about it.
Yeah.
Seeing a ship crash. If you don't think she's the most amazing actress in all of human history forever, then you're a bigot. You're awful. That's going to be the message we're going to hear from all these articles, from all these failing freaking
I'm surprised in so far my public discussion in this, I've said penis every time referring to that actor, because I'm saying I'm not playing their goddamn pronoun games. There's a penis there. Got man hands. It's a 20-year-old dude, or at the time 18-year-old dude, pretending to be a 15-year-old girl.
So is she the one who's going to be the companion for Shitty Agua? Oh, no, because I heard they were saying the companion was going to be a transgender person. It's another transgender person.
No. The other transgender person is a villain next season. Some super drag queen they're rolling out.
RuPaul?
No, it's not RuPaul. No, let me bring it up. I'll show you who the companion is. It's an 18-year-old little white girl, skinny little white girl who's attractive, but they're trying to go back to attractive companions. Let me see. So it's an NCU companion. There we go. Here's Shooty's companion. This is a good body shot of her standing next to Shooty. And she's pretty. Nice little girl. Yeah, she's pretty. But she's 18, so.
Okay, I was all like, I'm not looking at like a 17-year-old. I'm gonna say, damn, girl.
No, she's 18. We may be a little old, but it's okay. If it happens, I always feel like
I'm gonna get trapped in that. Ever since Dermy started bringing up pictures of like anime girls, and I'm all like, that's an 18-year-old one, right?
Well, in anime, I just kind of let it slide because they all have giant cans, and all anime girls are horny. So forget it. Anime, I let that all go. It's just giant boobs everywhere. Like trying to keep track of it, it's too hard. But they finally put an attractive companion back in here, and I don't think it moves the needle at all, because people aren't going to come back for an attractive companion. They want to come back for a doctor, and Shurigatwa hasn't exactly sold himself to the fans by playing into these games, by being a part of the message of the doctor is a they, them.
Yeah.
The doctor it's just.
I talked about it, how I don't know the original series. I came in when they rebooted it.
I saw a little bit before. I mean, I saw some Baker and a couple other doctors before it, but it never took with me when I was too young, and I never.
Yeah, you can't respect it. You can't, get it. Yeah, same thing with me. It didn't appeal to me when I was young, but when I saw the new one, I started watching it, fell in love with it. I so I don't know the original lore, and so I always kind of have to stipulate anything I say with that because I don't want
Mhm.
to say something everyone's all like actually, and I
Yeah.
look stupid.
I did a deep dive when I got into it. I just went and read tons of material just so I knew what happened prior, who did what, who did where, because
Yeah.
I didn't like not being in the know.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same way. I feel like sometimes I'm like I want to make sure I'm not stepping on my own, tongue. Um, but I know that they in the last couple years before they went to Karen, Dr. Karen, that they established that yes, you can change to a different skin color and yes, you can become a different sex. That when he
Yes,
went back to
all the way back in Matt Smith. It was I think either Ryan or Jed mentioned it in one of the discussions, or might even been on Jed's stream when we were talking about it.
yeah,
I forget who said it. I only thought it was introduced in Capaldi, but somebody said back in Matt Smith era, he referred to saying, "Oh, somebody wasn't always a woman," it's referring to
yeah,
another Time Lord. So it's
yes,
been established that he could do it, and we were talking about this in discussion yesterday, where the idea that a Time Lord can switch genders, it's not that hard to wrap your head around because when a Time Lord regenerates, literally every cell in the body is changing into something different.
yeah.
So if it changes the chromosomes, okay. Do I like it? Not necessarily, but I can accept it and move on.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I was. I was like, "Okay, so I have no problem that the doctor's becoming a woman. It's kinda weird, but as long as she's a good actress and long as the story's good, long as the writing's good." Everyone who sits there and says, "We hate stuff just to hate stuff." No, we hate bad writing. Good writing can cover up a lot of
Yeah.
other shit. And so I said, I'm gonna wait till people who I know are much bigger fans and much more aware of this, and if they say it's good, then I'll trust them and I'll go and watch it. They came back and said the writing is absolute shit. So I didn't watch the Jodie Whittaker. I said, fine, I'm out. If
Yeah.
you're gonna put in shitty writing, I don't want to watch your show. And so when they said they were changing it back up and they showed Shitty Agua, I said, I'm totally fine with him being black. That's completely fine. I think the gay thing might be a little pushing it, but okay, are they gonna fix the writing? And what's his name coming back as the writer? I
RTD.
thought,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought okay, maybe they have a good chance. Everyone made me feel good about it, and I said, okay, I think I might give it a chance. But then, yeah, they do these 3, and just from the first one, we've already kind of seen that he has no intention, and he said he wasn't fixing
He said it. Timeless
the
Children. Yeah.
children.
He's
Yeah, the
not
time to
there.
show.
He's not retconning it. So that's when we all knew it was done. It was
Yeah,
done.
so the second he's already burned every last bridge he had. There was so many Whovians or whatever who were sitting there going, "We're willing to come back. We wanna come back. We want, good doctor back."
Mhm.
And he just came in and said, "Fuck you," kicked us in the balls, and like I said, I'm just waiting for the
Literally,
article and
he's
him, yeah.
he's been literally saying in known certain words, "Fuck you" to fans since for 2
Yeah.
weeks now. When they've been saying, "Why did you this? Why did you that?" And he was replying on X Twitter, "Tough," cry emoji, stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, and like you, I wasn't angry when the Doctor regenerated into a woman. I was open minded about it. I said, "Okay, I'll give it a chance." And then I watched it. Jodie Whittaker was a bad actress. She was a bad doctor. The writing was shit. She was not good to the fans. And by halfway through, no, I tapped out right the f- uh, before the first season ended. I said, "That's it. I'm done." When they did an episode about about Pakistan breaking off from India, and nothing happened an entire episode. It was nothing, and I realized, wow, this is it. I'm done. And oh yeah, Andy Pickle, I just said it. Yep, I just said it. Uh, it the Pakistan India episode was it. The Rosa Parks episode was dumb, but that wasn't my breaking point. It was the Pakistan India episode that was my breaking point for that. But yeah, if they had been a good actress, someone who respected the fans and good writing, been fine. But now I'm in the camp. The Doctor should be a man.
Yeah.
He should be. It should be. Doctor should be a man because it didn't work the
Yeah.
way they didn't not experiment didn't work.
And there's so many things in it that are direct discs
Yep.
at the fans. Like calling the transgender girl Rose. That's a
Yeah.
direct slap because of Rose, one of the most beloved freaking companions there is, who fell in love with Tennant's doctor. And yeah, we're just gonna let's call her Rose. Like that's not a dig at them.
And that's Russell T Davies doing that on purpose because he
Yeah.
created the character. So
Yeah.
that's not somebody else just doing it. No, that's Russell T Davies particularly saying, "Oh, I'm gonna name this character Rose, and I'm gonna make this about trans and this and that." And no, the character's real name is Jason. Oh, I dead named him. What's gonna happen? Nothing.
Yeah, it is so it's just so bad.
And it was insulting too. They did Donna dirty.
Oh yeah.
They did her completely dirty. Where first of all, it ruined the poignancy and the bittersweetness of her entire relationship story with the doctor. And then when she becomes Dr. Donna again, in that moment prior to that, the doctor had been struggling to save the day, but she does it like that.
Yep.
Not a problem. Easy as pie.
It's like the bat suit will be perfection when it fits a woman. It's the same energy.
Yeah.
God.
And there was the insulting of him that we already talked about. The whole "you're a male presenting Time Lord, you don't get it. We're better than you." Blah 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 blah. It's just it's a goddamn mess. We see it. The normies see it because they checked out a long time ago. But people like Russell T Davies, who is a broken individual, his personal life, whatever his personal tragedies were concerning the death of his partner, it turned him into an ideological lunatic.
Yeah.
And Jed's done some research on it. He's got the documentation, the whole timeline of it. He could explain it much better than I could. But it's a sad story of a man who was creative, who successfully revived one of the greatest franchises of all time, only to now come back, be positioned to be the savior yet again, and return it to some state of glory, only to allow his ideological derangement run it instead of his creative half.
Yeah.
Here we now have the message, not even sugar coated. And sometimes here it's subtle, there. No, no, there was giant tanks of trans allegory messaging rolling all through that episode, unapologetically.
Yeah.
And it's a
And
damn
then
shame. It's a damn shame because now
oh
Doctor
yeah.
Who, it's dead. R.I.P.
Yeah. I said that the thing is it's really shitty because just like I said about I've said about James Bond, I think that it's when you do these changes and they don't work, then it kind of pins you in a hole.
Mhm.
The doctor isn't held that much because since he can change, they're not, once if they do change him from shooty, uh no one's gonna be as offensive as they would if, like I said, they make James Bond black and then try to turn him back to being white.
Yeah, yeah.
There's leeway on it. So I do believe that there's a potential because Disney we know is struggling. And so when they start selling off assets, which they've already talked about they might have to do, they're
Yeah.
not going to want to get rid of Star Wars and they're not going to want to get rid of Marvel first. They're too big
Oh
of
no, yeah.
IPs.
Well, Lucasfilm is an entire company. They just can't
Yeah.
get rid, and they won't do it as long as Kathleen Kennedy's there.
Yeah.
It's too embarrassing for her.
So I'm thinking that maybe they might get rid of Who. They might sell Who. And so
Well, they
there's a
don't
potential.
fully they don't fully own Who. They're part of the pie. It's three different parties. It's Sony because the BBC doesn't own it. They just show it now.
Yeah.
Sony owns it because they own Bad Wolf company, Bad Wolf Productions, which is Russell T Davies, but Disney is also putting funding into it now. So they have the distribution rights on Disney Plus. Because somebody asked me in a comment here earlier today from yesterday's stream, can I watch Doctor Who on Max? Because previously Doctor Who was on Max. And I said, no, it's on Disney Plus now. Now, of course,
Yes.
I spoke to Captain Jack, and he hooked me up because I
I
wasn't
th-
gonna go there.
I thought the majority owner was Disney, but it's Sony.
Sony, Sony's the
So then,
majority owner
yeah,
through Bad Wolf.
then also only thing that'll happen is if they decide to sell Who is Sony will buy whatever
But
interest they have back. I'm sure.
here's the
So never
problem.
mind, it's screwed.
Yeah, the problem is also the timeless children ruins everything. I mean, you bring up the point that every time the Doctor changes his face, it's a full reset, and we can go into a new era. And sometimes you don't have to really worry about always what happened before or all the stories. But when you change his origin
Yep.
to being a little beautiful black baby girl who falls off a cliff, was found near a portal, it's that's the problem. They changed his backstory to be diversity and agenda, and they made it that William Hartnell was not the first Doctor anymore. That's the problem. And all Russell T Davies had to do was say, it didn't happen. I'll create a story, a 5-minute explanation as to why it didn't happen. The master was fucking with the Doctor. Somebody else was pretending to be the master to fuck with Doctor. There are numerous ways it could have been untangled in 5 minutes. Snap, I swear. But he didn't do it. He didn't do it.
Mhm.
And now, no matter what going forward, the Doctor is always originally a little black baby girl found near a portal and tortured by a Time Lord to steal regeneration power and make the Time Lords into what they became. I always say, don't give up, don't run away, keep fighting. But when the one man who could have legitimately rewritten something out and would his change would have been accepted because he's the one that breathed life back into the franchise, when he says I'm not going to change it, and then when you have the only other person after that would be Stephen Moffat, but he's playing ball too. When every single person that could fix it is not going to fix it, it's done. I hate to surrender and wave the white flag and retreat on this, but it's done. All you can do is watch original Good Who and find your own perfect little stopping point, and then just stop and don't go any farther.
Yep. The second the Doctor grew tits, that's where I was at.
Yeah,
I
my
said,
my
sorry.
personal stopping point is Husbands of River Song. If I ever did a full beginning to a certain point rewatch, I would stop at the Husbands of River Song. That's where I would stop because it's a nice little ties up that last little river song story arc with her Doctor, and it ends up being Peter Capaldi. They live a whole life together in that one day on that one planet where a day lasts 22 years. That's where I can stop happy.
Yeah.
That's where I can end it.
I Yeah, like I said, I really wish there was a way back because once you really get into it, it is
Mm.
just a really good show.
It's
But
so much fun.
yep, but it's so sad that they had to kill it the way they did.
It's
And the thing is, technically it died years ago, right?
mhm.
It died when they did
Yeah.
Jodie Whittaker. So we might as well just, it's like maybe it's time for us to start going out and dating again.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
wife's been
Yeah.
dead for years.
Yeah. There was always that hope that before the Timeless Children, another regeneration, we could just forget Jodie. But that was the actual reason you knew they wouldn't do it, because they knew if you if they just did a a flat regeneration story without changing anything, people would then ignore Jodie's run forever.
Mm,
They would just ignore it. They would go from Capaldi to whoever came after Jodie. But now, when they by specifically retconning his backstory with Jodie Whittaker, you can't skip it. It is now in the DNA, and that's why it sucks. Jay Fraser, 360 for £2 British. The death of the Doctor hurts me more than any IP. Yeah, we all have that thing, that IP that hurts the most. For me, it was Star Wars, and I wish I'd been on YouTube at the time because, frankly, I would have I would have probably ridden that wave and been a huge channel right now. But I missed the breaking of the world with The Last Jedi. But for me, it was Star Wars. Problem thing is, though, at this point, I guess you could say I've heard it said in the past 48, 72 hours, this 60th anniversary faux pas, it's the last Jedi of Doctor Who. It really is. People were not happy with Jodie, but as I said, they were just tuning out, figuring they could tune back in and skip her and move on with the next generation. But Timeless Children ruined that. People are now actively, openly rejecting everything since Peter Capaldi regenerated into Dr. Karen, just like people are actively rejecting Disney Star Wars as the legitimate canon.
Yeah.
So I right now, again, I'm a casual Whovian. Jed is a better example of a hardcore Whovian. I'm a casual Whovian. I watch it, I enjoy it. I don't remember everything. I just remember what I watch. Hopefully I don't screw up moments, because sometimes you could screw up when things happen. It's very easy in somebody's season if you put things out of order. It's right. I want to say, and I'm not apathetic. I'm backing off from this battlefield because it's not one I can fight on. I've made my statements. I've made my video. We've had the stream. Unless Russell T Davies does something else really goddamn stupid, which I bet he would. It would make me do another video. But it's up to others now, the hardcore fans. If they're going to keep fighting, I will put my faith in them to keep fighting and to create the narrative of we reject everything since Capaldi was regenerated into Jodie Whittaker, just like we reject everything Disney has done since 2012. And I hope I pronounced this correctly. Revuel Arvida for 2 Australian. RTD has betrayed the fans. Yes.
Yes, he did.
That's why I put that in part of my title today on the video from yesterday's discussion. The fans deserve better than this. This is the oldest fan base of nerds in television. Doctor Who fans. 60 years. Predates everything when it comes to live action science fiction media. Predates Star Trek by a few years. Predates Battlestar Galactica. Predates Star Wars. Predates everything. It's the foundation.
Yeah. There's keys. I guess you would say almost pillars of nerdom that are, nerds we center around, we get fanatical about. We know you have people who know every little detail about it, and who is one of those? Just like Star Wars, just like magic, there's a lot of people who they center around those key things, and Whovians know every last thing about it. Like I said, I'm like you. I'm a cash. I've watched the newer stuff. But I don't know the deep lore. I can't tell you every single thing. So yeah, the fact that if I'm this mad and I feel this betrayed, I couldn't imagine somebody who's devoted their entire life, because that's how long it's been on, people's entire lives, to this, and how betrayed they must feel by his actions.
I can find. I didn't save it, but you've seen the picture of Gary, right? When he was watching it.
Oh, his face. Oh man, it broke him. You
trying. I mean, there's no way I'm going to find it. Who?
I might have.
You might have.
Oh no, I took a snapshot of it, screenshot of it, so I could use it in meme.
Yeah, bring it up. Yeah, I want to. Let's bring it up. Thank you guys for the super chats. Always appreciated.
I'll
Gary,
put in the DM to you.
Okay, Gary is a super Whovian. He's one of those super Whovians who knows every goddamn thing, even with his Swiss cheese memory. I'm not making fun of Gary. Gary admits he has Swiss cheese memory because from all his wild days.
There you go.
I didn't watch Gary's stream because, again, I was doing other stuff on Sunday night. I was getting ready for whatever. Let me scroll down here. Oh, there we are. Okay, it did pop you to the top. There it is. Yes, nice. Let me get that over here. I didn't watch Gary's stream because I was doing other stuff, both family and what? Oh, god damn it! It's gonna make me take a screenshot, aren't you, X Twitter?
I know. I hate that you can't pull it directly from there, but that's
some
all
things
I had.
you can, and some things you can't. It's very you can do it on certain things you can. I sometimes can't, sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. All right, here we go. So I didn't get to watch it live, but then I saw the clips of him having the meltdown. Yeah, he took his glasses off, and Gary never takes his glasses off on stream, never. So when I saw him do that really bad, and then I saw this. When I saw this, this is, and remember, Gary knew this was coming. He wasn't lying to himself that everything was going to be saved when RTD took over. Because I remember watching him a year ago when uh, Russell C. Davies and Shooty Gotwell were on the BAFTA red carpet, and they announced that Shooty Gotwell was the next doctor. I watched Gary going, okay, until Shooty started calling the doctor a they them. And then he was just, fuck you, going nuts. He knew this was coming. He was aware of it. When they didn't retcon the Timeless Children, he said as much as we all did, it's over, it's done. But this was still right here. This is the sign that deep down inside, he's still, the love is still there. That is a broken heart right there.
Yeah.
It's a broken heart.
Yeah. You can know something's coming. Like if you're married, you can know that you and your wife are on the direction of getting a divorce for years, but you're still going to cry when those papers are handed to you, you know?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. He knew, yeah, you're right. He knew it was coming. He knew, but it didn't mean that didn't just destroy him when he saw it.
When I saw it the other day, when this all happened, because I got there for the complete denigration of David Tennant's 14 in the episode. I showed up late. My heart wasn't broken. I was just pissed that we have to sit here and watch them do that. Jed wasn't quite heartbroken, but he was sad. I think the way he put it, because he was ready for it. He just wasn't ready for how bad it was. What I said in the stream yesterday, in the video today, when I recut everything together. We knew this was dead. We just weren't prepared for the desecration to the corpse that was going to follow. They fucked that corpse raw in every hole. Any hole possible. They shoved something in her nose, ear. All holes were defiled. We just weren't expecting it. And that's what this is. This is, Gary knew it was going to be bad. He didn't know it was going to be this bad.
Yeah.
And it's bad. It's sad. It's sad. I hate it. I hate watching a passionate fan look like this. I feel worse looking at Gary than watching that episode, because he loves it as I love Star Wars. Now, I've been able to fight my way out and grapple with the idea that Disney Star Wars is legitimately not actual Star Wars. Unfortunately, you could say that's a completely different thing. They didn't go into the DNA of George Lucas's work and destroy it, because George Lucas has disavowed Disney Star Wars. I can hold on to Star Wars. I'm not that. I was broken in 2012 and 2014 when Disney began its reign of terror. I felt like this, except it went from this to pure rage, where I almost threw out all my books. I'm so glad I didn't.
It's people because I've discussed stuff with my sister, and she's said this argument, but people say, why do you care? If it's non-IP that you care about, if it's non-IP that you're really passionate about, why do you care what they do with it? That's why we care, because I feel bad for anybody who has that face, who goes through that kind of thing, who's devoted time, who's devoted passion, who's devoted money, just to really get deep into these stories and something they love that's given them joy, and then to see it just desecrated and beat like that. Who doesn't you have to be uncompassionate. You have to be a heartless piece of shit to not have compassion for people that lose something they love and have them go through that. And that's why I fight for IPs that I don't really care about. I don't really get any enjoyment out because I
Yeah.
can still in those people see what I'm going through with things I am passionate about and things I do love.
There are things I hate. I know I get a lot of pushback when I say this. I'm not a fan of the Battlestar Galactica reboot. I gave it 2 seasons, kept going back. I never enjoyed it, but I know people love it. And I'll support them loving it as long as they'll understand that I don't like it. But and I feel bad that all the spin-offs failed for them because people wanted more, but all the spin-offs were crap.
Yeah.
All right, Andy Pickle asks us a question here about this. Question: Though I like the master from Here Comes the Drums, the switch to Missy wasn't bad. Gender bend opinions. I thought Missy was brilliant because Michelle
Yeah.
Gomez was brilliant as Missy.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting arc that she becomes like instead of being combative, she becomes almost like she counts on him as like a dear friend in this like it was a very kind of cool arc to it. And yeah, I had no problem with it.
She had so many great moments. I'm bananas. I'm crazy. It just all of it. It was sold by Michelle Gomez, and that's one of the hallmarks of the Capaldi era. Sometimes, a lot of times, questionable writing, bad writing, weak writing, but the performances were brilliant.
Yeah.
Capaldi was great. Michelle Gomez was great. Chick who played Clara, we were all tired of her at that point because Clara had overstayed her welcome as a character.
Yeah.
But all the special guests, all the villains, all that, they were working well.
Yeah.
It was the stories that were not tight enough. So I was always fine with Missy. Some people don't like Missy, but I found Missy very enjoyable. Also, because again, Michelle Gomez was just spectacular. She chewed up every single scene she was in, and again, I got so I the twist. I didn't catch on till the reveal at the end of Capaldi's first season when she goes, "I'm Missy, Mistress, the Master." I didn't get it. It was over my head. All I knew is from the beginning, who is this chick who's calling the doctor her boyfriend?
Yeah, so
What's going
weird.
on here? And I went over my head. I missed it, and I love it when they can get me. I love that. Mm. Yeah. See, look, Jay Fraser doesn't like Missy, but that's fine. That's fine. We can all debate it. It was I enjoyed it because I think I mostly enjoyed it because I think Michelle Gomez was just fun. She was fun. Now that could be the case that you could prove that it wouldn't work when the doctor wouldn't work. Either way, again, but see now we're going into nerd debate, which is good. We want nerd debate is what we should always be doing, not having lamentations, not giving a eulogy for something.
Yeah.
Not doing that. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. All right, let me ask you this: Devil, you into wrestling? Were you ever really into wrestling? I never remember.
Oh yeah. 80s
Yeah.
especially and
Yeah.
but then into the Attitude Era.
Mhm.
I haven't watched for years now.
Yeah, I've been off it for I think 2 or 3 years now. 2 or 3 years now. Now the big news over the weekend is that WWE re-signed CM Punk. He showed up at the latest pay-per-view this weekend. Broke everybody crazy. If this had been 3, 4 years ago, I would be all in, but I'm just not. I'm I'm so detached from it at this point. I want to be interested, but the problem is CM Punk is right now one of those people I can't separate the art from the artist.
It was like I said, I'm not 100% sure about the arc and what,
Mhm.
but it wasn't he like a divisive character? Didn't he just be wasn't he like a baby the whole time essentially?
Well,
Like
no,
he
he
was always
was
complaining and shit?
well, in real life, apparently he is toxic in the locker room. He's not a team player, but his whole rebel phase, the pipe bomb moment, which was brilliant. That was one of the best Monday Night Raw endings ever. The pipe bomb. And then everything that came out of the pipe bomb was brilliant. And that's what made me a CM Punk fan back then, because I thought, wow, this is some great performance. He's giving it all in the ring. I'm really enjoying this stuff. But then he just left. He quit and he disappeared. He did his side stuff. He got beat up in MMA. He did other stuff, and then he runs his mouth because then he runs his mouth on stuff, and I'm happy people were excited for this, but I just can't find I can't connect to that little voice that's way in the back of my brain going, yeah, all right, Punk. I can't connect to him anymore. I just can't get into it. Because even though I know that since the WWE merged with Ultimate Fighting, UFC, and now they're not the controlling fact, and Triple H is in control now, and this and that. I've known all this stuff. I can't find a way back.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes it's a little sad because I used to go away for a couple years, then I used to come back, get caught up, be into it, watch Monday night pay-per-views, maybe get a video game when it comes out. But I think I'm done with wrestling. And I hate to say that. I think I am.
It's, to me, it was always like, the little I do know about him, he just seemed like he was, if you're really good at anything, you can withstand all the hate and stuff. It's like what Clint Eastwood said, if you're conservative in Hollywood, just be so good they can't ignore you, And I just never felt that way about the little bit I saw of CM Punk, that he was like too big for his britches. He was acting like he was this, and it's like, dude, you're kind of mid, to me,
I felt that way before the pipe bomb. Before the pipe bomb, I felt that way. After the pipe bomb moment, I was sold. That's the thing.
Because I was going to say, like, The Rock, when he first started out, he was so rough when he was Rocky whatever, and he had the colorful gear on and shit.
Yeah.
But when he actually became the Brahma Bull, he was so good at selling that, the showman aspect of it. He was, a Stone Cold Steve Austin, same thing. He was big in the britches, but he deserved it. And I never felt that way the little bit I did see. But like I said, I never really watched. I wasn't like, oh, it's Monday night, I have to,
dude,
anymore.
Listen, I'm a Hulkamaniac.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm a Hulkamaniac. I'm a little Hulkamaniac. I took my vitamins, didn't say my prayers.
I'm a real American.
My vitamins. Yeah. Do you remember what I did when I did the debate with Dermy?
Yeah.
I knew damn well that I was going to get he was going to get claimed when I did that, because I tested it myself first. I went full ham on that. I made the whole intro, I'm a real American, because when that plays, because I have that on a playlist. It's on a particular playlist. When that plays, I'm off the wall, because when that would play as a kid, I knew it was go time.
That was your childhood.
Here comes the Hulkster. Here comes the Hulkster. Everything's going to be okay. Here, the ultimate face. And so I grew up as a Hulkamaniac. I still bleed red and gold. I still bleed red and gold. I do. When he turned heel and did NWO, broke my heart. Yeah. Broke my little boy heart. Even though I was a teenager.
I hate Hollywood Hulk.
Well, here's the thing. I hated him, but I loved hating him, because Hogan still sold it. And now looking back, it was brilliant. That was somebody who had been a face for 20 years. He'd been a face. To suddenly go heel for nearly a decade, go heel. Wow. But it wasn't a decade. I felt like a decade. It was only a few years. But for him to go full heel like that and become the opposite of everything he preached for years, that was brilliant. Yeah. That was showmanship. I mean, it's not like Ric Flair, who would go face heel, face heel, face heel whenever he felt like it. Even though, and again, Flair is one of the greatest of all time, too.
Oh, yeah.
But Hogan was the face.
Well, it seems like, and there's two kind of wrestlers. There's the technical and there's the showman. And I'd say, Ric Flair Freaking Hulk Hogan,
Woo!
as far as showmen go, absolutely amazing. Not the most technical. You know, Hogan, for all his being one of the best wrestlers, wrestling wise, he wasn't that great. He wasn't
But I
technical. He
loved it.
didn't know all the moves. He had his set moves. He
Yeah.
did the same performance every night, but it was such a good performance.
Yep.
You loved it.
When
Then
he
you have
hooked up,
people like Bret Hart. You know, Bret Hart knew
excellence
the
of
technical
execution.
side. Hell yeah.
Excellence of
You know,
execution. Yeah.
there's the two sides to it, but yeah, when it comes to showman, yeah, Hulk Hogan, he was our childhood. You know,
Yeah.
if you were a kid of the 80s, that song, I Am a
Oh,
Real American, was your like anthem.
yeah,
It
it
was,
was.
yeah.
I lived it. I breathed it. When he when he lost the belt to Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6, I was I was devastated because he had been the WWF champion for my entire life at that point. He had been the champion. No one else had held the title except for Macho Man. But then again, that was Hogan took it back. You know.
Yeah.
Point is, he was always a champion. And then the Ultimate Warrior took it for him, broke my heart. And then clearly he needed a break. He got injured something. And they did the whole thing where Earthquake did the earthquake drop on his sternum over and over again. When that happened, that again, I cried. I think I cried when that happened. When I was watching that happen, because watching Hogan just twitching on the ground, I was like, "No, Hulker,
They
Hulkster,
killed
no!" They
him.
killed him. What I did, they when that happened, they gave addresses where you could send Hulkster your get well cards. I wrote him a get well letter. Like all the other millions of little Hulkamaniacs, I wrote him a get well letter, and I drew a picture, and I said, "Hulkster, you got to get better because what's going to happen is you're going to go back, you're going to beat Earthquake, and then you're going to beat so and so and get the title back from Ultimate Warrior. And you could do it, Hulkster." And then a couple weeks later, I got a signed postcard from him. Made my little kid year. So thanks, little brother, for sending me your best wishes. I was like, I was so happy. It made my year. It made my little kid year. It was so great.
And then
then
you grow up and you realize it was some person in an office.
Don't you say that. Don't you say that. Don't you say that, because he came back and he went up against Sergeant Slaughter at WrestleMania 7, which is my favorite WrestleMania main event of all time. I love Hulkster versus Traitor Sergeant Slaughter for the WWF Championship.
When Sergeant Slaughter became heel and started hanging out with the Iron Sheik and started wearing that thing. Oh, I was so mad about that.
And he was wearing, it's like, these are these boots were given to me by Saddam Hussein. Yeah. I was like, no, Sarge, what are you doing? No, Joe, no. And this is why I love that WrestleMania 7 match, because that was the first time I saw anybody get busted open. When Hogan got busted open in that match, there's blood everywhere. I was like, oh my God, he's bleeding. Because I still thought it was real at that point. I still thought it was all real. My little kid mind. I was like, that means it's real. Look, he's bleeding. It's real. Oh, but it was great. I loved it so much. And then when I got older, I took a break. Then I got out of it because I wasn't really. It was the precursor to the Attitude Era. I was out.
Yeah.
But then I got sucked in when he turned heel, and he went to WCW, and then Nitro started, and the Monday Night War started, and I got sucked right back in. I had the time of my life. Then I watched it religiously for years, and then I tapered off again. Then I came back and tapered off. I had the routine: go away, come back, go away, come back. But like I said, it doesn't feel larger than life anymore to me. That's the thing.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I just like I said, when I stopped watching it was because every single week I was watching it, I was like, I just felt like towards the end I was sitting there going, is this going to be over soon? You know, like it started to lose that
predictability set in, and that was the staleness of the previous WWE stuff. It was the predictability. It's the same people doing the same stories and this and that. And why aren't we seeing new talent? Why is it the same guys? And it got boring, and it got boring. I think one of the kicker was for me a couple years ago. One of the video games just wasn't good. I think I got it was either WWE 20 or WWE. It was either 2K20 or 2K21. I forget. It was the one that had who was on the cover? Shit. Damn it, I forget who was on the cover. I forget his name because he's not one of the guys that I follow. People like him. Anyway, the gameplay was just kind of meh, and they removed your ability to create your own finisher, and that just sucked the fun out of it. And that was one of the points that's it. I'm done. I'm not enjoying the game. I'm not enjoying the show anymore. And now here we are. People are saying it's getting good again. Triple H turning around, and I can't muster it up. I can't.
Yeah.
I know it's a thing, the whole Iron Claw docudrama movie on
I
that
want to
on
see it.
the Von Erichs. I'm not interested. I guess that because I was never into the indie scene. It's one of the things. It was never a thing for me. No.
I'm not like, I don't know everything about it. I know some of the like history of it, but I'm
I've
not
heard
like
the
amazing.
history.
But
Yeah.
just watching the trailer, it really, I was like, ooh, I want to know more. Like, it really
Mhm.
got me kind of drawn into wanting to know more about the Von Erichs. Mostly the one you saw if you're a WWE fan was the Texas Tornado guy,
Oh yeah.
the younger brother, whatever. He come out with the same ribbons on his things that Ultimate Warrior did. He was the same size as Ultimate Warrior. So yeah, he came running out, and you were all Ultimate. Oh no, it's Texas Tornado guy, because he'd have those things hanging. And he was good. I liked him. So I want to go see it. I want to go see it. I'm hoping to get to go see it in theaters, but if I don't, because I have to drive like an hour to see anything in the theater, really.
Mhm.
But I hope to go see it in theaters, but I'm definitely want to see it. So
Yeah, I hope people enjoy it. I'm not interested. I'm just not. Unfortunately, that's the thing.
it makes you think though. Remember about when the Attitude Era was still going on, and Vince McMahon got his little idea that I'm gonna make a film studio, and he made all those
Hmm.
films with the wrestlers, like that one with Kane where he's the killer, and
Yeah,
12
the
Blocks,
hills.
whatever it was,
The
and
hills
yeah.
have eyes. Is that what I think that was it? The
Yeah,
hills have
I
eyes.
think they did The Hills Have Eyes, the remake of it. Yeah, he missed a golden opportunity, because what he should have been doing is exactly what the Iron Claw movie is. Biopics of his biggest stars. If he would have done a biopic of Hulk Hogan, if he would have done a biopic of all the characters that we all loved, he could have made a
Yeah.
shit ton of money, because
Well,
I
look
would
at
have
it.
gone and seen him.
Look right now. The Chris Hemsworth Hulk Hogan movie. That thing's in limbo. Isn't it done?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
it
it's done,
should
but
be,
it's in
because
limbo because
yeah.
he got jacked up for that before he went and did Thor: Love and Blunder.
Yeah,
Because that's why
and then
he's carrying that Hogan jack.
yeah, we saw
Okay.
pictures come out from it, and then now nothing for
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
months and months and months. I haven't heard anything.
Years. I think it's been a year or more. That's that. So where happened to that? Yeah, that's a really good thing to bring up. That probably would have worked. But again, I think the problem was that Vince had all these ideas, but he didn't have the common sense to let other people take control and make those ideas into something
Yeah,
tangible. He
yeah,
tried to do it himself and he didn't always understand. Vince was a great showman, he was a great carnival barker. He knew
hmm
how to do this stuff, but there came a point where things changed in, I guess, everything, the application, all the way people wanted to see wrestling, this and that, or have content put out, and he just missed the mark. I mean,
yeah,
the WWE streaming service, that was a complete disaster. I mean,
yeah,
I did want it. There was one thing on it, Camp WWE, that I wanted to watch, and I pirated it to watch it because when I came home from China, it had the two seasons out, so I got it and I watched it and I laughed. It was funny, just because he had actual wrestlers voicing, and Ric Flair voiced himself in that one, and that was funny. Where he's running around being basically a man whore, saying, "Who wants to ride Space Mountain? Woo!" It was hysterical. He's one of the counselors, and all he wants to do is all he's doing is looking for women to screw, which is, hey, that's true to the lore. Everybody knows the stories. Ric Flair was a party animal for decades. But that's why we love him. That's why every time you see him trending, is like, come on, Nature Boy, kick out. Don't die on us yet. Kick out again.
Yeah, man, Ric Flair, he was, he was one of the major draws that he wouldn't sign with, I think, a particular wrestling organization back when it was all a bunch of them across the United States before WWE essentially took the whole mantle.
Yeah.
Back when like they were like at war with each other sometimes, like you crossed into my territory and there were like literal fights and shit because how dare you come into my area and promote. And so he was during that time, and I think he went to like a bunch of different ones, but and performed. And he was one of the major draws. Like you had his name on your ticket, people would come and see it because he was known. It wasn't until like I said, WWE took over and got Hulk Hogan and some of the big draws, Andre the Giant and stuff, that it really kind of solidified that. But yeah, he was at one point probably one of the biggest wrestlers in the whole country, easy.
And then he went to WCW and he became the man there. And him and Sting were the giant draws there. And got the creation of the Four Horsemen and a lot of good stuff. WCW was the kind of ignored little brother. I ignored it as a kid because the thing was WWE back then, WWF, you could watch it on TV. It was a big deal that my mom could record it for me when I went to bed every night. A couple times a week when they would do, because it wasn't live back then. It was just Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan talking, and then they'd cut to wherever some matches were recorded at some arenas for the whatever the storylines were. But my mom would record it for me, and then I'd watch it the next day when I got home from school. I could watch WWE, and then pay-per-view started. I mean, because remember, WrestleMania until WrestleMania 5 or 6. 6 is the first WrestleMania that I saw on pay-per-view. Because you couldn't see them any other way. Or maybe in a bar, because back then that was the only place you could find pay-per-views for boxing matches, shit like that. But then suddenly cable happened and cable boxes, and you get pay-per-view. And I wanted to see pay-per-views, and I convinced my mom, starting with WrestleMania 6, can I see this? And then for my friends who liked wrestling, my house became the place to watch pay-per-view. So I remember the first Survivor Series when Undertaker appeared. It's like, who's this guy? Where'd he come from? I remember the first SummerSlam when it was supposed to be Hulk Hogan and Tugboat versus Zeus. And who was it with him? I forget. But it was Hogan versus Zeus with Tugboat in his corner, but then he got injured and a Big Boss Man ended up being in his corner. I remember that. And of course, again, I was questioning, wait a minute. Zeus is the guy from the movie. How is he here? I don't get this. That was when I started to question the reality of it all. But I remember when these pay-per-views started, and for a while, all you had was WrestleMania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam. That's all you had. And then the Royal Rumble appeared. And for a while, that was all you got. But my friends all showed up at my house. 4 or 5 or 6 of us, we'd watch the pay-per-views because we'd all be watching the stuff on TV for the storylines. But that's why WWF worked back then. You knew what was going on. I don't remember as a kid any WCW appearance on regular television. We knew they had their pay-per-views, but without the television to tell me the storylines and the characters, I had zero interest. I knew who Sting was. I knew who Ric Flair was. Because I when Ric Flair appeared in WWF, suddenly I was like, oh shit, there's Ric Flair. Okay. And then he's walking around wearing the WCW heavyweight title belt, and they kept blurring it out as part of the story. I'm like, wait, he can't show that here. Blurring it out. But so I couldn't get interested in WCW. And then in the 90s, when suddenly you had access with Nitro, I got interested. So
yeah. I never was as big into WCW as I was WWF. But I know that some people, they liked it more.
It was that Nitro era.
I think he liked it more.
Then I loved.
But
I was a WCW guy during the Monday Night Wars. I was totally, because all my favorite wrestlers were in WCW from my childhood. They had all gone over there from WWE. So that's why I gravitated. And again, of course, the storylines are really good. It's really cool. And of course, man, the Nitro Girls. Ooh, Nitro
yeah, I could get
Girls.
behind the Nitro Girls.
Kimberly Page. Oh,
Man, man,
oof.
the girls used to be so hot. I remember how massive of a crush I had on freaking Sunny. Do you remember Sunny?
I knew Sunny. I wasn't into Sunny,
Oh,
but
I had a massive crush on her, and then I found out she did a porn, and I was all like, "Oh God, I have to." And then it turns out she's like overweight and in
yeah,
middle age. I'm all like, it wasn't what
yeah.
I expected."
Oh, yeah, and that's the era. And then after, was that around the era? That was around the era where WWE went full. Yeah, we're gonna show you. We're gonna make a deal with Playboy, and we're gonna have the divas show up in Playboy spreads,
Yeah, and
and
the
that was
bikini matches, the
bra and panty
panty bra,
matches.
yeah, bra and panty matches. Yeah, there you
See, that's risque. But then they went PG.
go. Yeah.
And even when they went PG, though, they still, the divas, and I'll call them divas forever. And I'm not going to call the female wrestler superstar. They're divas. I'm going to call them divas forever. They still had the beautiful women.
Oh,
They
Trish
still had the
Stratus.
beautiful.
Oh
Ooh.
God, she was hot.
Oh, see, I had a later on, man. I was all about the Bella twins later on,
Mm.
and then when Nikki got her implants, I was like, yeah. It's like, yeah, I can tell them apart. I can tell them apart.
She's got superpowers
Yeah. Oh yeah.
now.
But the whole aspect of the beautiful women aspect was great until the past few years, where the female wrestlers, the divas, they're not so pretty anymore. They're not so great to look at, and they're pushing agenda a little bit. It's like, I don't want to do it. No.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I remember that. Not that. No, I'm thinking of the Roddy Piper movie.
Oh, that fight scene,
No, no, no,
classic.
no. Oh no, the Keith. Oh, I'm thinking, no, that's the Keith. No, that's they live. I'm thinking of the Roddy Piper movie also, where he did the wrestling movie, uh, where he was with the tag team. One that was fun as hell as a kid.
Oh man, I don't. It sounds vaguely familiar. Hold on, I'm gonna.
I had the name and it just flitted away. I had it and I just lost it. It was, he starred with another wrestler, one of the Samoan guys, and they were basically a tag team wrestlers against the world. They were down and out, and I forget who it was that was their manager. It was another
Let's
star of the
see.
moment. It was. I will see if I can remember while you're looking it up. Ring something. I want to say something ring. Oh, God, I just don't remember it.
I don't see
Oh,
anything.
Miss Elizabeth. She was hot back in the day. Miss Elizabeth was hot. Uh, it's
Yeah, I'm not
ring.
seeing anything in
All right,
this movie bio that fits
let me
it.
go. Let me go. Let me see if I get it. Because now I can't remember it. I'm totally blanking. I used to know it all the time.
Body Slam,
Body
maybe?
Slam. That's it.
Is that
Body
what?
Slam.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
it.
that's
Body
his
Slam.
first. It says all the way back in
Yeah.
'86.
Yeah, that was that Body Slam. That was Body
Okay.
Slam was a cool one. It's just a wrestling movie. That was a cool one. Oh man, the good old days. I just I wish I could be excited about going back to the wrestling thing. I wish I could be excited about Punk coming back, but I just can't. I mean, I know other guys in this sphere. I know Jeremy Geeks and Gamers. He's ready to watch Raw tonight. Probably is right now. Or the pop doesn't hit me. I'm not
Yeah.
drawn in because I don't think it can last. Is the problem.
Yeah.
I don't think it
Yeah,
can last.
it's like when you it's just like the movies with member berries. They're
Mhm,
trying to draw you in, but it's that very localized ooh, and
mhm.
then if you don't have substance behind it, you're just not gonna want to watch.
I mean, the problem is, because I've been around for so long and I saw what I consider the golden age of wrestling and then the silver age, I saw all these from the 80s into the early 2000s and then a little bit during the 2010s. Some of it was good then too. I saw so much great story arcs, so many great characters and athletes and doing crazy shit. And all I ever do now when I would watch it in the recent years is compare to what it once was, and how, as we said, the personalities from way back then were so much more larger than life. It will never it will never equal that for me. I don't think that. Perfect example is during this recent years. Every time they rolled out Brock Lesnar again, I just rolled my eyes and turned it off
Yeah.
because I don't need to see Brock Lesnar show up for one pay-per-view or once a month on Raw or SmackDown just to steamroll somebody. I don't need to see that. I don't care if it really is a tough badass in life. His character in WWE is terrible because it's the same goddamn thing every time. And it bores me.
I hate the damn sword on his chest. Looks like a big dick. That tattoo looks so stupid.
Yeah, I wish the wrestlers weren't overly tattooing themselves either. It gets a little out of hand because it takes away from it just takes something away from me. I mean, again, I'm old school when they didn't have that stuff. Uh, yes, Andy Pickle, I do know I Come in Peace. That's a great B C sci-fi movie. Dolph Lundgren and this dude, and I come in peace. You're gonna leave in pieces. That's a good one. That's a good
Mhm.
one. I remember when that came out on VHS. I was so hot to get it because I had to see this thing. I had to see it. I should watch that again at some point. Actually, that'd be good. But yeah, so that's why I'm out. I will always compare it to what was great, and nothing's ever going to equal it because the talent today just will never compare to the talent back then.
Yeah.
The
I
heights to which they all got. You know?
Yeah, it's funny. Uh Looking back on those older generations of wrestling and just how different they were. Like you did when you were actually watching them and you went through them, you didn't notice the change as clearly as it is now. Like when
Mhm.
you're a kid and they were superheroes. Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan was a
Oh
superhero. It was like
yeah.
that's how you felt about them. Like they were more than just men. They were something better. Like, like
Yeah.
god damn, I wish my dad could be a Hulk Hogan. Uh then you went to the Attitude Era where it was like it was okay to be a badass. It was okay to be
Mhm.
the bad guy. It was okay,
Yeah.
you so yeah, just and yeah, now it just seems like it's all milk toast and I don't get
And
excited about anything, so I
they
just
play
stopped
everything
watching.
safe. I mean,
Mm.
I know that they had to change because of the accident with Owen Hart, but when Sting did it first, when he became Crow Sting during the NWO wars,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
started dropping from the rafters with the baseball bat, and oh, dude, that was so epic. And I'm never going to see something like that because they won't do it again after the Owen Hart fiasco, after that tragedy. So, but it's never gonna equal anything. And I wanted to go back to that, and that's the problem. I wanted to go back, and it's never gonna go back. And if CM Punk had come back a few years ago instead of going to AEW, I mean, I remember I did a video when he came back to AEW. I'm like, oh man, this AEW's chance, and apparently they didn't do anything with it. Their video game was a bust. They ran out of steam, and their best talent that they poached from WWE have all gone back to WWE. So anyway, Disney World has a problem, Devil.
Uh-oh.
Now, we all hate It's a Small World. That ride,
Yeah.
that's a horrible, horrible ride. It's going to destroy your brain. That song is an earwig. But now the Small World is another problem. Apparently, naked man arrested after running around Disneyland's It's a Small World ride.
What?
I don't know. I saw this right before we went live, and I thought, "Here we go. This is perfect." Let's see what happened. 26-year-old man was arrested in Disneyland, California, after stripping down naked and wandering around the theme park's "It's a Small World" ride on Sunday.
Pervert.
Here's the tweet about it. I am on a small world and there is a streaker. I cannot believe this is happening. Let me zoom in a little bit more so I can read it from this screen. The man was in fact completely naked, as another video posted to social media show his buttocks and genitals fully exposed as he hops in and out of the water near the entrance of It's a Small World. Question: is Dermy in California? That's my question right there. Because all right, Warnady newer. Okay, hang on. Let me. I haven't scanned the whole article. Let me make sure.
Meth is a hell of a drug.
Let me make sure I'm not going to put up something that's going to get me. Okay, no, I'd have to actually play the video. And we are not going to play the video because I'm sure there'll be swinging penis. But it's a small world after Disneyland. It's a small world. So naked dude there. Idiot in front of all these kids, one onlooker exclaims as the naked man is being hauled off by officers. Additional video footage shared by TMZ shows the man clad in just his underwear wandering around inside the ride and taking a dip in a small pool on the set, while an apparent Disneyland employee off camera shouts, "Stop and please get down." Now, I think this is the one where he's in his underwear. I would hope, but I'm not gonna take a chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Last thing I need is his penis. No, this is California, Jay Fraser. This is California. This is not Florida man. This is probably meth head gay man. I'm gonna say it, meth head gay man.
As much as I'd like to act like Florida's the only one who has trash, California has plenty of trash.
Yep. Officers with the Anaheim Police Department who responded to the theme park around 1:30 p.m. said the man is suspected of having been under the influence of a controlled substance. Gee, what a surprise! A Disneyland spokesman told the outlet that the man had stepped out of the ride's vehicle as the attraction was in operation and that the theme park employees stopped the ride as soon as they realized what was going on. Disneyland guests said the nudity incident shut down the attraction for more than an hour. The name of the suspect was not immediately released. Here's the thing that fascinates me. We can go all the way back to the throwdown in Toontown from 3-4 years ago, which was funny as hell. Disney used to be its own little sovereign state where they would lock shit like this down. Now it's a nightmare. Think about the stories you've heard lately. You've heard the stories about people pooping in line on rides. You've heard those stories, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got people pooping in lines. You got a dude stripping down and going to play around with all the little models and it's a small world and taking a dip in the pool. Where's the security that once upon a time would descend upon you if you stepped even an inch out of line?
You're cutting in and out for me. Is it on my side or your side? It's like roboting real bad.
Okay. Chat, am I roboting? Let's ask the chat. Chat, who's?
Oh, it's cleared up.
Okay. Chat will tell. Chat, tell us if it was me or Dell, just so we know, because I didn't see any little. I didn't see a little Wi-Fi thing on StreamYard, so I wasn't alerted if I was having a problem. But no, so I'm asking then, what's going on here? All right, Static says no robots, so it must just been you.
Yeah, it must have been mine.
What's going on here? They can't seem to they can't ensure the safety or the hygiene, the cleanliness, the not pooping everywhere on these places. What's going on?
Yeah, like it's funny because there's so many fight videos you see at Disneyland no more or Disney World. They were synonymous with that. My mom and dad, my mom broke her arm in Disneyland. She by accident stepped off a curb and shattered her elbow. And literally within like 2 seconds, her and my dad were surrounded by employees that essentially made a wall around her so that people couldn't see her. and so they could bring people in and get her on the ambulance and stuff. They blocked off so it wouldn't ruin anyone's thing seeing
Yeah.
someone hurt at Disneyland. And the security was the same thing. That whole thing underneath both those amusement parks, they have literally miles and miles and miles of tunnels and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
that's how the performers get back and forth, so they're
Mhm.
not you don't have Mickey Mouse walking through uh Galaxy's Edge dressed in his Mickey outfit because it might break the experience. So you had to get around. So they have miles of tunnels, and security, if you caused any issue, knew exactly where
Gone.
every single door was. They had hidden doors throughout the whole place. And so if you started causing issues, they would grab you, open up a door in like a fake tree trunk, and pull you into those tunnels, and you just disappeared. You know, and they were so good at that. But these past couple years, you see all these fight videos and these people doing these sick things at the amusement park and stuff, and it's like there's no security. So I'm wondering if maybe that's how they started trying to save money, is by like
Yeah.
having the security or something.
We go back to, again, I mentioned the throwdown in Toontown. When the old High Council was still in session, that was one of the greatest streams I've ever seen. And that was EVS at his best. That was Jeremy at his best. They were just breaking that whole thing down. You watch that, it's only a 2-minute thing, but the security that's there, they're helpless.
Yeah.
They look helpless. They don't do anything. They can't stop it. And now, again, people are shitting in line. That's a health violation. That's a health hazard. And you
Yeah.
got naked dudes running around. And they quoted here the security person just saying, "Stop. Please stop. Don't do that." No, what you talked about back in the day, dudes in sunglasses and bulletproof vests popping out of trees to tackle your ass and pull you out of there.
You know what it probably is at some point they were sued by somebody who's all like, they injured me or whatever. And so Disney got all scared and started saying, okay, we have to have a hands-off policy. If somebody starts doing something like this, you don't put hands on them. Just
Mhm.
confront them and say, sir, please, would you stop doing this? Sorry, if somebody's having a drugged out freaking psychotic break, they're not gonna be like, "Oh, sure, well, since you asked politely." No,
No.
they're gonna be like, "I'm gonna kill all these people because 'cause they're the devil." Like, you have to be able to stop them. So, yeah, that's probably what it was a lawsuit at some point that we just didn't hear anything about because there was a gag order put
Mhm.
on, not a gag order, but, we don't talk about this type
An
of thing.
NDA. An
Yeah,
NDA.
NDA, yeah. And, they got sued enough that they, got lost their balls, as far as security goes. So yeah, they can't protect you. You can go there, but yeah, you're on your own. If
You,
some
you s-
crazy person starts beating the shit out of you because you took the last hot dog.
yeah. And that's the thing. You never know what's going on out there. People are nuts these days for whatever reason. There are a lot of reasons, but people are crazy. And it's not just because they're sick and tired of stuff. No, some people are freaking broken and they're either high, like this dude. This dude was high. They said that he was high on something, or they are deranged for some other reason where they have an actual screw loose. You never know. And I'm just thankful that I got to experience Disney when it was Disney as a kid, when the Magic Kingdom was magical, and these parks it really was a magnificent experience to go as a kid. And I went like 3 or 4 times as a kid. My mom took me there 3 or 4 times, and it was great. It was great. I loved every minute of it. There's still pictures of me standing with Space Goofy in Tomorrowland. A- And now, if I had kids, and I still hope to have kids someday. I know I'm running out of time, but I still hope to have kids someday. I don't want to take them to these places anymore. I one, because god awful expensive, god awful, not worth the money. But two, we all hear, we all watch Geeks and Gamers, us in the chat, we all watch stuff. We've heard the stories of what it's like through their theme park people, how it works these now. Everything's a schedule. You have to schedule your time to get online. You have to schedule your time to eat. When I was a kid, I just walked around, decided to go on something, got in line, wasn't that long. You got in there, you had your fun, and you did this and did that, and you went home. Or if we were staying nearby, went to the hotel or the off-site hotel if it was an affiliate, something like that. But we went, and you had fun. I don't, I don't see how this is even fun anymore, man.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Well,
And
it's
then,
the reason I think the parks are starting to fail, aren't they? Didn't they
oh
say
yeah,
that the parks like when Disney started first shitting the bed on movies, it was saying that the parks money was keeping them afloat, but I thought these past couple years have really
oh,
dropped
they've
off on them.
lost it. Yeah, ever since the coof, there has been a drop off at the parks, and they've never quite recovered to the point where it's not. They got away with so much, the destruction of so much that Disney owned on all things we loved, because the money they lost was supplemented by the parks. This is before the ESG money came into play.
Yeah.
But now the parks are not they're not covering the bills. And again, not only you're going there to have a not fun time, you got to worry about crazy people on rides. It's not worth it, dude. It's not worth
Yeah.
it. And I yeah, I hear Universal's good, and I hope that Universal gets it right going forward even more. I mean, that Super Nintendo Land's supposed to open up in what, 6 months? I
I
think.
hope they do good with the
Yeah,
its potential.
yeah.
And it's funny because even the parks that ESG shit is affecting there too because you see them changing all the rides.
Hmm.
Pirates of the Caribbean, they had to take the guys chasing the girls out.
Yep.
Like kids are gonna be like confused that pirates chase girls. Like it's not like they took them on the ground after they caught them, right? But no, we have now they're chasing chickens. Yeah, because
It's
that would be a
retarded.
thing.
And
Um,
then they redid Song of the South Splash Mountain to
yeah,
Tiana's
Splash
Playland.
Mountain.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gone.
so yeah, it's just a matter of time before they do it all. Like it's a small world. Is they're gonna get rid of all the white dolls.
I was gonna say that It's a Small World was the diversity ride for 80 years. It's the diversity ride, but everybody hates it because that song is god awful. Just take out the white people. Just take them out. I don't need them. It's all right. But this I saw this and I just thought, damn. Where were the people to tackle this dude as soon as he? Where were the people who might have been watching this dude in line? Because don't tell me he wasn't going all. Don't tell me he wasn't doing uh sketchy shit, junky shit in line. Don't tell me he wasn't doing junky shit in line.
Yeah,
He was twitching.
he did not get high, then come to the park and do this. He got high at the park.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's funny is you gotta wonder how many years because anyone who doesn't know Disney World, Disneyland, every inch of that place is covered by cameras. You're
Yes.
not on camera except for like if you're there for 12 hours, you're probably only off a camera for maybe 20 minutes of those, and that's usually in the bathroom.
Yep.
All those
That's
years,
illegal.
I know of multiple people who would try to go into It's a Small World because it was essentially a dark, slow ride and try to do kinky shit. The
Ooh.
whole, you don't want to
Yeah.
handle this for me? How many hours of pervert footage did they have of girls jerking dudes off in fucking It's a Small World by people who weren't smart enough to realize they were on camera the whole time?
It's that South Park episode where the guy is watching everything
Uh-huh.
and he's got the pump of hand cream, moisturizer cream, and he's just jerking off to everything he says. He goes, he's just jerking off to everything he sees. That is it. The eye in the sky, Big Brother is watching you everywhere at Disney World.
And it's not like they could go over the loudspeaker and say, "Ma'am, please take your hand off your husband's penis," because the kids behind him might hear that. So it was like just when they came out the other side, it's just like you didn't want to make eye contact with the perverts. But yeah, I bet you.
Oh man. All right. I do have. All right, I got another a partial compilation thing of posters, but I think I'll save that for Ballbusters this week. I got they even though Microsoft said no more Disney Pixar posters, people said
Mhm.
fuck you, we're doing them anyway. No. I will show this one. Hang on, I have this one. Not the one Cloud put in the chat, although that one is funny. Wait, come on. Full screen, please.
They ought to know that if you go against them, it just makes it worse. Just let people have their fun till they
Yeah.
get tired of them. Everyone's done every single, weird one. Hard.
The mission to find the pill. All right, you know
Just
what?
let the
Go
joke
ahead.
and the meme burn out and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
But now that they've said they're not gonna people are gonna do it. You're gonna have like bootlegs of whatever AI thing that they use to do these and stuff coming out. People are still gonna be making them and they're gonna make them solely to say, like, kiss our ass, we can do what we want. Don't fight the internet. Just
No.
ignore it if you can till it
The
goes away.
the internet will always win.
Yep.
The internet will always win. All right, here's the one that Cloud put up. I will show this one. Cloud put this one up in the Ballbusters chat. Let's discuss this one, everybody. There's some controversy in the Ballbusters chat room about this one. Let's and then the AI is not perfect. What am I doing? Goddamn, wrong button. The AI is not perfect on this because there's an extra arm there, but uh, broken arms. now, if that's his babysitter, okay. As long as it's not his mom or his sister, okay. I mean, hey, he needs help. And unfortunately, it looks like no, that's her right hand. So that's not a marriage ring. So
Or her.
yeah, that's
Oh,
not. I don't think
no.
it's his mom.
No, I see a ring. Oh, no, yeah, you're right, it's on the wrong hand.
It's on the wrong
But
hand.
yeah, I was saying there's a ring there. So her third arm is jerking him off, I'm guessing?
I don't know. I think that's just like that's AI faux pas there because we need to ignore the extra arm splitting out of out of that left elbow or the right elbow there. We need to ignore that. But there's a reason he's got a smile on his face.
This if you get a stepmom that'll jerk you off after you break your arms, that's a good stepmom.
Hey, yeah, you know what? Stepmom. Listen, we had this talk on Ballbusters the other night. Sending into what kind of porn is good or bad. And hey, if it's his stepmom and he's old enough, okay.
Yeah, please say he's 18.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hey, maybe.
Oh,
Hey,
honey, I feel so bad you can't jerk your own wiener. Here, let me help you out. What?
look at that smile on his face. I think it's already happened. I think it's over. I think just post coitus. Yeah. This story has been told over and over again on the hub. It's there. I've seen many variations of this already. So yeah, they're just gonna keep making these. They're just keep making these, and they're funny as hell. And I love it. That the internet, like you said, the internet's always gonna win. You can't stop it. Let me see. Lost my window here. Hey, hail to anybody coming in saying, hail Striker Nightfall, hail to you. Anybody coming in saying hello, hi to you. Vinger has something to say to me there. We need Latinos to stop making dramas and start making something action-packed, adventure-packed, monster-packed, kaiju-packed, super-packed. I'll take something with Salma Hayek packed. That's what I'll take. Salma Hayek packed. I'll definitely take that.
Did you see that trailer for that movie, that comedy that the Daily Wire's doing?
No. Is that what I've been seeing going around? People have been mentioning something. All right. What? Send it to me. Link it to me. We'll bring it up. We can look at it. I got one more thing. We got our top 10 for the night, but we can go over that first.
Okay. I gotta find it. Give me a second. I gotta mute up.
But yeah. I don't know if we need anybody else with the Latino. I mean, honestly, I have no real comment on that outside of the way. I have no comment on that really outside of I'd like to see something packed with Selma Hayek just to make another sex joke. I don't have anything on that. I don't know where we're gonna go. I mean, Vince, you're with me. We get our fix with anime. You and I know we both get a lot of our fix for entertainment from anime. We're satisfied that way. I'm watching Pluto right now. Static. I started watching Pluto. I'm only 10 minutes in, so I have no opinion yet. But I don't know. Well, here's the thing. As far as new goes, I get my fix for new things watching anime. That's where I get my fix for new stories, my fix for new characters, so like that. I get my fix from anime. But as far as everything else, I just keep going back in time. I ordered my Christmas presents today for me and my mom and all that stuff. I ordered all my Christmas presents, and within them, I've been saying I was going to do this, and I did it. I pulled the trigger today. The price wasn't going to move anymore. It's been sitting. It got lowered a couple weeks ago. Wasn't going to change more. Cyber Monday failed me in this aspect, and so did Black Friday. I pulled the trigger on Star Trek TNG episodes, or incomplete Blu-ray season. I pulled the trigger on that today. Where we got? Okay,
I've DM'd it to you.
Okay, I got it. So Devil, I pulled the trigger on Star Trek TNG complete season today.
Oh, nice.
I pulled the trigger on it, and I pulled the trigger on The Mentalist complete season 2.
I like The Mentalist. I just hated how Red John ended. Who ended up being Red John. Just
that's
such a disappointment.
I can understand that, but I like the way Jane got his revenge.
Oh, I do like they got his revenge.
I do like that.
Yeah, I hated how I was all like, man, is she gonna somehow stop him? Because the whole time he tells her, he says, if I ever get in front of Red John, nobody and nothing is going to stop me. Not you, not any of the people on the team. I am going to kill him. He says that like multiple times.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, and I love it they didn't gimp Jane for that. I love it that he got it, and I enjoy it that it was the whole look. He got revenge and he's satisfied. It's not, oh, I killed somebody and I still didn't heal inside. No, he got his revenge and he started to heal.
Took off to Mexico.
Started to heal, and then he started to rebuild his life. And that's why I love the first 6 seasons. And then we got that last season 7. I call season 7 the victory lap, where it's just, here's one nice little more story, and it's going to leave you with that. I love that final moment. I love that final moment where he finds out she's pregnant. I love that. Where I watch Mentalist once a year, basically. I will watch it because it's one of those series that ended perfectly. I love everything about it, just about everything about it. And I've had it, but now I'm going to physical media have it. So I'm very excited because it dropped to $47 for my buy.
The entire series?
Yeah. Complete series on DVD. Because they don't have a Blu-ray of it. So DVD will be fine. It's 720p. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it dropped. That is the lowest. Last year it dropped to $55 and I didn't pull the trigger. And it dropped to $47. So I was like, damn, I am pulling that trigger on that too. And I got a couple other things for myself and I got some stuff for my mom. But I pulled the trigger on that. So and I got the Patrick Stewart Christmas Carol finally. That's my Christmas Carol.
That's not my. Have you ever seen the George C. Scott one? That's mine. That's
way back in the
favorite.
day. Way back in the day.
I love that. I watch that almost every year, almost every Christmas. That and the Muppets Christmas Carol. I love that shit. I don't know why.
Everybody loves that one. I just let that one go by. I don't know. All right, let's check out this trailer for Daily Wire Comedy, which I've seen people tangentially talking about it, but I didn't know this was it. All right, stop. Okay, go. Bring it back to the beginning. Share. There. I can YouTube like the best of them. All right, let's look at this. I have not seen this. I know nothing about this.
In a world where women's sports is being transformed, the Daily Wire calls foul with the most triggering comedy of the year.
I like that.
Guys, this is serious.
I like that he choke slams her in the elbow drop. I gotta see that again. Transformative. That's funny, but then this got me here. Oh man, that's a full on. That's not last ride, but that's a good old fashioned choke slam. That's a good old fashioned choke slam. Yes. I have my Christmas movies. Yeah, we'll talk Christmas movies. We'll talk Christmas movies next month, guys. Next month, I promise. The first Mellow Mondays of December. Next week, we'll talk Christmas movies next week. I promise. Okay. Oh god.
Guys, this is serious. Sports can be your pathway to a better life.
Well, like yours?
Please don't steal my catalytic converter again. Winning matters. It's the
Okay, is he just really small, or is he on a step?
No, Jeremy Bourne's pretty short.
Okay.
key ingredient in becoming a winner.
Maybe we should try it sometime. Are you gonna move?
I am not.
Let's cut to the chase. I know you're not a woman.
Hey, you don't know how he
Jeez.
identifies.
If you can beat
What
them,
do you know about the U.S. Opens for the global games?
You want us to compete as women. $5,000 prizes.
My lover says you were a great coach back in the day.
join them.
This is the way the world is now. My 8-year-old daughter told me all about it. So a guy can become a girl with no physical changes at all.
Oh, that's called gender fluid.
So I can be a woman on the court and a man in the bedroom. I can't believe it. Nice.
You mean when you're sleeping?
Yes.
Coach,
Alex, we could play basketball.
we have to get the whole team back together.
It's time
We're in.
I'm in. I'm in.
to play
What the
Lady
hell?
Ballers. Line up.
like a girl.
That's what I'm with her. I'm in my room. This is my room.
Oh, jeez.
From heroes
Day one of being a girl athlete. I love being a girl.
to sheroes.
Oh my
We could
god.
dominate every woman's sport. Running, swimming, soccer.
I said sport, Felix.
It's ladies basketball, boys. Nobody watches.
Whoa. Hold on. Oh no. Oh no. Bravo.
Excuse me. Are these seats open?
Never mind.
Getting dunks. And tucking trunks.
No, she didn't. That's the biggest I've ever seen on a lady.
Lady Ballers.
One can even be trans age now, which provides Sheelix with a wonderful opportunity to relive all the experiences that she missed out on in school.
Oh god.
Streaming exclusively on Daily Wire Plus December 1st.
All right. Bravo Daily Wire.
Yeah. I agree that some of the humor looks like obvious, like
Yeah.
there's obvious jokes that they're going for, but I'm kind of a little happy that they decided to, because they've been like, oh, all of our movies, we're gonna stay so far away from politics, and I appreciate that, but at the same time, we also want something that kind of fires back at some of this
Yeah.
bullshit we're putting up with, and this is an obvious where they could go with it. So
This has been the thing people have been saying for a long time. All this shit has been ripe for comedy,
yeah,
but Hollywood is so ideologically dependent on it, on being an ally, that they won't make fun of it, even though it is the easiest thing in the world to make fun of. Dudes playing
Yeah.
women's sports, claiming to be women.
yeah. They did Joanna Man, but they
Yeah.
wouldn't do it now. They wouldn't do it now. Hell no, they wouldn't
Yeah.
do it now. They'd
No,
be so
totally.
afraid that somebody's gonna be offended. But like you said, the joke's literally sitting right there. Why
Yep.
not
All of
take
them.
advantage of that?
Yep. Yep. And it just, good for Daily Wire. I mean, I'm not the biggest Daily Wire fan. I generally don't care about Daily Wire, but bravo, bravo. If you are going to do this, and look at that, that was probably a tiny budget to make this movie. It's there. There's no real
Oh yeah.
practical. It's just real world sets, walking around, people doing shit. No special effects, not really. I mean, I would probably guess this movie was probably made for something between 10-20 million dollars. That's my guess.
Oh yeah. And you're right, Static. They do need to get on other platforms, not just Daily Wire.
Yeah.
They should try to put these out, at least physical copies. At
Yes.
least sell physical copies. They still would make money, but they only have it on Daily Wire. It's like, well, maybe I don't want to get I'll pay for 1 month of Daily Wire
Yeah.
just so I could watch
And
that.
here's the problem. Let's be honest. It's going to be down at the beach within 24 hours.
Yeah,
It'll be down
exactly.
there. And if I want to see it, that's how I'm going to see it because, again, I'm kind of mostly indifferent to Daily Wire. I'm tapped into the news. I don't need to get it from Daily Wire. So I'm not going to them for stuff. And frankly, lately there's too much drama surrounding them. Again, it's just I get turned off by that. But it's not hard to make fun of this stuff. And again, I give them props for going after it. Go after it, make fun of it. But you're right. Don't just leave it on streaming. Make something physical. When you've got guys like Chris Nolan and I think it was it no, it wasn't Robert Rodriguez, it was Guillermo del Toro. When you got guys like Nolan and Guillermo del Toro saying, "Hey, physical media is awesome. Buy it." Listen to them. I mean, I could easily get digital copies of everything I just purchased today, both for myself and for my mom for Christmas and Hanukkah this year. But I bought physical copies because I want it. I like it. Let me go back to full screen so we can see the stuff there. I like having all that stuff right there. I love it. I love it that I can pick it up, touch it, put it in there whenever I want. Now, sometimes it is a pain in the ass because I have to move some wires around with the PS5 because I have to right now I have the capture card connected where I can't run DVDs because otherwise it doesn't like it when I have to turn off the HDCP switch on the PS5. Otherwise, it won't run the capture card from when I'm streaming. So right now I have that hooked up and I have take a couple seconds, but it's just tedious. But when I want to watch a movie, I love it that I can do that. Oh God, Devil. So I gotta ask you this. You've seen the movie The Saint, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You've seen the original cut, the proper cut, where he has the ending where he drives away in the car after going to her lecture,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So Jed and I watched it for Saturday, and I told a story how when I was younger and they put The Saint on network television on NBC, they showed an edited version where it just ends with them in bed together after she says "I love you," and he says "third miracle." It ends. And I told Jed, I was telling Jed a story on driving on Saturday about how it pissed me off. And he said, "Wait a minute, that's not the ending." Jed had seen the cut version, the edited version. He didn't know there was another 10 minutes.
Oh, geez.
And he was surprised. And he said, "Yeah, that might have changed my take a little bit." But still, I was appalled then, and I'm appalled now that there is an edited version out there that cuts away the last 10 minutes of the movie, which has significance for their final character developments. That's why physical media, man.
Yeah.
And now I'm not against owning some digital things because there are some digital things that I can't get. I'm like one perfect example. I mean, I don't want to. I'll have to bend over to you. I don't want to get a shot of my ass. I have no shame that I have this movie on my shelf because it's one of my feel-good movies. I love it. I love 3 Men and Little Lady.
Oh, I love that too.
Happy Film movie. But this is a DVD I got ages ago, but it's 3:4. It's 4:3 ratio. It's not widescreen, and there is no physical media product of Three Men and a Little Lady in widescreen. Only digital is it widescreen, and I knew that because I had years ago when I still had terrestrial cable, it was on TV, and I said, "Wait a minute, there it is, widescreen. Why can't I get it widescreen?" Well, I do have it widescreen now, but I also keep my physical copy. But some things you can't get on physical media. They're just not. They're just not there. I mean, another one right now is hard to get. Jed and I already watched this for drive-in a few months ago, but we watched Digstown. James Woods, Lou Gossett Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I checked today or this weekend because I was compiling my holiday list, shopping list. A Blu-ray copy of Digstown on Amazon, $83.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep my digital copy that I have, my good quality one. There's some things you can't find. Oh, another one, something like The Happiest Millionaire, classic real Disney. These you can't
Yeah.
find these things, or if you find them, they are outrageously priced. Some things you just can't find. So I understand sometimes there is no digital media only option, but will collect as much as I can and keep collecting it. I will never stop. And I want to believe this is not the end of physical media era. I mean, Devil, do you think we're at the end of the physical media era? I don't want to believe that.
Sadly, I think we're probably getting close. I'm pretty sure that they're because Best Buy literally is gonna stop
Yeah.
selling, I think, games or DVDs in their store.
Yep. They're stopping
Like,
DVD Blu-ray sales. They're
yeah.
testing it out in Australia first, I think is what I heard when that story dropped. I did a video on it. It's there somewhere from a couple months ago.
I wouldn't mind if you always had access to movies, you just had to pay for it. Like, since now you don't need a physical place for it, why can't all old movies be on one location for like $1, right? It's like you want to see a movie, you just type into the computer, you pay the 50 to 99 cents, and you can play it for that day. Like how we used to go and rent movies.
Rent it.
Yeah.
When the PlayStation Network was still a thing and not just a PlayStation Store, I would rent movies from the PlayStation Network that I had missed when they come out. You could rent it for 48 hours. You had it for 48 hours and you could watch it. And I did. I watched things over and over again. That's how I first saw Guardians of the Galaxy. I rented it in the PlayStation Store and I had it for 48 hours. So again, that would be a good thing if they had a database. But then again, everything's owned by so many different companies now. You don't know who owns half of everything.
Well, that's exactly it. They want you to all get their streaming service. Well, you don't need 40 streaming services. No. But when I was a kid, at our local video store, if you wanted to rent the new movie that was out, it was like $3.99. But they had a deal where you could get 3 old movies for 99 cents. I think it was. And so that's how they, kept using their older backlog of stuff. And so me and my friends on the weekend, we would go to the store, we would get some popcorn, we get some just all kinds of junk food that we kind of really wanted. And we would go and rent 3 movies and we'd spend the night at one of each of our houses. And we would watch through 3 old funny movies or action movies or whatever it was. They need to have a place like that because if you're a movie company and you make that movie, you've made all your money off of it. After, 10 years of being out, everything is just bonus on top of it.
Yeah, that's why I say piracy is a victimless crime because everybody's already made their money on it. It's done. It's over.
Yeah, so why can't they have you think Amazon would jump on that? Say, look, let us put it on there. We will take a minute fraction. You'll get the majority of it. And then everyone doesn't have to pay for streaming. It's just whenever you want to see a movie, if you're all like, today you're all, damn, I really want to see that movie. I haven't seen it in about 7 years. You can pay 99 cents and see a fucking movie instead of having to either buy the physical copy, which you're are going to look at $15 unless you find it used or
It
something.
depends. I mean, I will
You know,
I will haunt things on Amazon for months waiting for prices to drop for some
or
things.
pay $8.99 for 1 month of Paramount Plus so you can see one movie you want to see.
Yeah.
And yeah, when
So,
Redbox used to have their disc rental, at least then you could watch, a
mhm.
bunch of different shit, but they got rid of that. So
And then the thing is this, the other point I wanted to make, you have to be hopeful. You have to hope that you're somebody who saw something back in the day in its original copy, and then if original version on physical media or on television, even though television stuff usually was edited down, but hopefully you saw it on a physical media version so that when you watch a digital cut, you know what it looked like and you can spot when they've changed something.
yeah,
But we see, here's the thing then. I would prefer to get it anywhere but a streaming service.
yeah.
Because the streaming service, there's that thing. Did they change it? Did they change it? And,
Yeah. And they'll probably do a lot more of that too. You're right, because there's so many movies you watch
yeah.
and you go, that they would never make that now,
No,
and
no, yeah.
it's easy enough for them to just go back, change it, and act like no one's gonna notice that, they didn't make that joke or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna believe that physical media won't go away. I don't think it can. Just for the fact that I know that there are multiple versions of a PlayStation 5. You get a discless version or a disc version, but not everybody buys a PlayStation for just or as a media center. People still buy
Yeah.
Blu-ray players or 4K Blu-ray players or stuff. I think the big tech companies like Sony, like I don't know who else makes Blu-ray players. I'll just say Sony because it's the easy one that comes to mind. I think they don't want to give up that market of selling those products. I think that plays a bit into it. And there will always be something that's made. I hope it sticks around. I believe in physical media. I will use digital media when I need to, especially if I can't find it, or especially if something never comes out on Blu-ray and only remains on a DVD. I tried not to buy DVDs anymore. The only time I buy DVDs for my mom if she wants something from the 30s or the 40s that has not gotten a recent Blu-ray pressing, because you could find one of them, but you always check the year. If it's something from the 2000s, you might not, or late 2000s, you might not want to get that one. I want to get that one because it's gonna be shit. But I hope that it sticks around, and I will keep buying it. I think it will. I think it will. I don't think it'll go away completely. I think it'll hold on somehow, some way, shape, or form, because I think streaming is a dead end. I really do. We already know it doesn't make money.
I think the streaming, a lot of them are gonna die off. And I don't know how we'll get it after that. Like I said, maybe exactly what I'm saying. Maybe Amazon will be like, you guys give us your movie and just your backlog of movies, and like I said, you'll get the money from it, type thing.
Well,
But
doesn't
yeah, I do agree
YouTube
that the streaming is killing it.
doesn't YouTube have buy or rent for movies on YouTube?
Yeah, but I think they still want like $7 for the rent, and I think
Mm,
that's just ridiculous. Like
that's
I
way too
said, for a
much.
new
Yeah.
movie, absolutely. For a brand new movie,
Mhm.
$7, okay, I get that. But yeah, when you're talking about a 40-year-old movie, like you said, it's at that point you've made your money or you haven't made your money. Anything you make after that is just extra income to
Yeah.
it. So do you really need to be charging $8 for me to see a movie I've probably seen 4 times and I just want to see it, because I haven't seen it in 8 years? So I don't know.
Here's another example. A movie that must be seen. If you haven't seen it, must be seen. I think next year I'm gonna make sure we do this on Drive-In. Idiocracy. There's no
Okay.
physical media version of Idiocracy out there right now. I've looked.
Is there?
I've looked. At least last time I looked, there isn't. That's why I have a digital. I have a digital copy of Idiocracy, because that is a
Jeez.
movie that must be watched to understand where we're going.
President Macho Camacho.
Yes. I haven't seen
Um,
that in a while. God, when I first saw that and the whole Beef Supreme stuff made me laugh so hard. And then I was playing an MMO and I saw some dude running around. It was like a midget character or something, and he had Beef Supreme. And I just said to dude, Beef Supreme. He's like, yeah. I was like, right on, dude. Beef Supreme.
There's movies that I've really wanted to watch from my childhood that I haven't been able to really find. And maybe they won't hold up. That's always a
Mhm.
you know a threat of watching something from your childhood you enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I got Disney Plus because my parents watch it. My
Mhm.
mom likes a lot of those, like you said, the old
Yeah.
real ones, Swiss Family Robinson and stuff like that. My sister uses it too. She really enjoys all the shit.
Sometimes you have to make the compromise for a situation like that. There's
Yeah,
there's nothing you could do about it because somebody
I
in your family doesn't have access to a lot of things. Like, okay, this is for so and so. Just gonna do it.
yeah.
Uh,
And I watched the first season of Mandalorian, but I rarely watch anything on it because every single show sucks and
Yeah.
and I don't watch too many Disney movies.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, they had a movie on there that was shown all the time on Disney Channel called Not Quite Human.
Oh, that was a weird show.
They had
That
Not
was a weird
Quite
one.
Human. They had Not Quite Human 2, and they had Still Not Quite Human. And they were
Yeah.
3 movies, and they had the father from Growing
Alan
Pains,
Thicke.
was it?
Alan
Yeah,
Thicke.
Alan Thicke. And I actually really liked those when I was a kid. I remember because I liked the whole idea of robots. I thought that was badass to be a robot. But they never put it on Disney Channel, even though I'm
Mhm.
sure they own the rights to it. And so, but I looked online because I was on, maybe I can get it for dead cheap. The only physical copies they have are ones that were like pulled from TV, that somebody ripped from
Oh,
TV, so they're shit quality.
no.
And
Oh,
they're like freaking $20, I think. Like, I'm all
jeez.
like, really?
You know what that's like?
So,
It's when you want to watch the real Ghostbusters,
mhm,
and I've tried to get. Listen, I had a chance back in 2012 on
mhm,
Amazon. They released a complete real Ghostbusters, all the seasons, everything. It was a cool little Firehouse box set.
mhm.
It was under $100 then. I didn't pull the trigger. Instead, I got Robotech. um, now that thing's like $400.
Oh, jeez.
And if you find any real Ghostbusters out there at sea, first of all, you're lucky if you can find a cohesive line, not cohesive, sorry, a tangible line of the episodes in
Mhm,
order, because large chunks are missing, large seasons are missing, and sometimes it's literally ripped from Fox Kids, which means somebody had recorded it on a VHS way back when, and everything, and the quality is god awful.
yeah.
But it was still good. I still watched it. It was still good. Real Ghostbusters holds up. But yeah, so some of these things are out there. Hell, you know what? Let me see if it's still out there. Let me go to the Amazons. I'm curious now if that's there, if I can prove my point. One it is. There it is, and there it is. Oh my god! All right, let me scroll this so that I don't dox myself. Devil, this is gonna hurt. Look at this. $800.
Damn.
Dude.
Don't you wish you bought like a dozen of those and held on to them?
I wish I just bought one when it was under $100 in 2012. God, I've only watched my Robotech a couple of times. I bought that for $70. Holy shit! $800. God
Yeah.
damn.
Man,
Oh my god.
what's your favorite obscure movie? Like childhood movie, but was really obscure. Like not everyone saw it. Not everyone loves Goonies, but like, there's
Okay.
all these ones that are really
I
good that
have
you
to
just
we have to narrow that down because that's a lot. All right, we're taking all B titty movies out of the equation. We take those out of the equation.
yeah.
Hey man, Skin and Max was a real thing. Late night Showtime, late night HBO. Bikini Car Wash Company was incredible for like 14-year-old me. That was an incredible thing. All right, let me think. We're definitely gonna have to go straight to VHS because that's what this era was. It's straight to VHS. All right, here's one. This is one of my favorites, but it's one I always enjoyed. Rock and Roll High School with the Coreys.
Man, I remember that one, and then they had like, didn't they have like a remake with, or
I
was
don't know
that
if
the one
they
I'm
had a
thinking of,
remake.
where it was all rock and roll in high school forever and
That's
ever.
that movie. That's it. The Corey. And what you get in that is Corey Feldman. He was the lead in that one over Corey Haim, but he totally is hot for teacher, and he gets hot for teacher in the end. He gets her in the end of the movie. He gets the hot teacher, man. It's like, yes. I don't care if it's not right. It was all that was the fantasy back then, man. That was the fantasy. So yeah, Rock and Roll High School. That's one of those ones that we would watch over and over again, just because it was weird and crazy. Hawk the Slayer. What is that? I never heard of that one. Hawk the Slayer.
Hawk the Slayer. I hadn't heard of that either.
I don't know that one.
I'll have to look that up. Hawk the Slayer.
Let's go. Let's see. Oh, what other ones?
I remember there was a one I liked when I was a kid. I think my mom got from like the Avon catalog or whatever. It was like called
What?
The Great Land of Small. I remember that when I was like a real
never
little
heard of that
kid.
one. I've never
I
heard of that
was I watched that a bunch. Haven't seen it for what,
one.
48 years now.
Wow.
I'm just like,
Let's
I'm
see.
not that old.
You're not. I was like, oh, you're not that old. I know you're not that old.
No, but like
Wow.
32 probably years.
Yeah,
Just
it's just you have to go. I'm
let's see.
walking the aisles in Blockbuster right now in my memory. I'm walking the aisles in Blockbuster. And it depends on the genre, all that stuff. Oh man. It's a 70. Okay, it's a 70s movie. Okay, yeah. I don't have much. I didn't watch a whole lot of 70s stuff. That's not something I did a whole lot of watching eventually. Yeah, that would be where that's not, those are not high up on there. All right, this one isn't out there, but it's you can actually get it, and it's just the price is too high. I've been trying to get it for years. Price is high. Rutger Hauer, Split Second. You ever see that one?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh man, Rutger Hauer, Kim Cattrall. Okay. Here's the premise of that one. It is sometime in the 2000s. It's a future where global warming has melted the ice caps and the world is partially flooded, and it's then current day London, England, and there's London's mostly submerged. And Rutger Hauer is a cop who is basically at the end of his rope, and he's hunting a serial killer that he encountered years ago. Where
I do know this one. Yeah,
we need bigger guns, bigger fucking guns.
Yeah, now, the flooded London. That's where like really was like, I know that. Where is that? Okay.
Basically, he's hunting this kind of demonic creature that's ripping out the hearts and eating hearts. He has a psychic connection with it. That's one of my favorite B-level sci-fi, slightly horror movies. It's outstanding. I'm gonna make Jed watch it at some point next year. I'm waiting till I get my physical copy of it, though. I really want to get it. Took me for years. You couldn't find a physical copy. Now there is a physical Blu-ray copy of it, but I don't want to spend $25 on it. I don't want to. I want it to be under $20. But Split Second is just a batshit weird movie, and it's Rutger Hauer at his best, though. I love Rutger Hauer and Kim Cattrall. This Kim Cattrall looking the way she did in Star Trek 6. So she's looking pretty good. And remember, Kim Cattrall has no problem taking her titties out.
God, her entire career was all like, we need you to get naked for this. She's already naked, just standing there going, yeah, let's do it.
Well, it's like you start with Big Trouble in Little China, where she goes see-through, and you're thinking that's really great, and then a few years later, Okay. Hell, I gotta admit, I watched Sex in the City because she was naked in a lot.
I
had
remember
HBO
her.
and I had a TV in my room. Do the
I
math.
remember her in Porky's. Lassie.
Oh, Porky's. Dude. Dude, that was a rite of passage when I was a kid. For us to get when we finally get our hands on a copy of Porky's and watch it and be like, okay, nobody's gonna come in here, put in VHS. Like 3 or 4 dudes, little kid dudes, just starting to realize what to do with the equipment and realizing we really like this and that but man, that shower scene.
So
That
much
shower scene.
70s Bush.
I know. I was trying to find a way to put it. A lot of so much wool you could make a sweater. Oh, dude, yeah. Originally, Nisa Darkman. Again, that's on my list of things to buy. If I hadn't had other things on the movie list this year, I wanted to get, or I wanted to get I wanted to get a game instead that I didn't get last year. Yeah, original Darkman. Forget Darkman 2 and 3. Original Darkman. That movie is awesome. Batshit crazy. Psychedelic.
Yeah.
My little kid mind didn't get what I was watching, but but that's Sam Raimi at his best, and of course Bruce Campbell cameo right at the end. But yeah, that is see. Look, honest, I don't like the other two, Darkman 2 and Darkman 3. I didn't like those two. Original one is all I need. I just need the original Darkman. That's all I need. That's all I need. All right, let's do our top 10, Devil, and then we'll mosey on out of here.
Okay.
I'll leave the topical thing I was going to talk about. I'll make a video on that tomorrow. Let's see. Okay, this is our top 10. You and I can handle this one. This is how again, nobody's going to learn that nobody wants Disney Star Wars. 10 most exciting things about Rey's new Star Wars movie.
Ugh.
I have not skimmed this. I didn't scan this. I caught it right before we went live. And I thought, okay, there's my top 10 to replace the one that Dermy stole from me on Friday. He totally stole that from me. Totally stole it. All right. I'm gonna Minecraft him one day. I swear to God. Hey, he's talking about throwing me in an oven all the time. I get to do that. All right. Star Wars Episode 10 in all but name. That's a good thing. Rey's new movie is not part of the Skywalker saga. I hate that term, Skywalker saga. I hate that term. It's just Star Wars. The entire Star Wars is the Star Wars saga from the Old Republic to Crucible. Goddamn, I hate that. Not part of the Skywalker saga. Rey's new Star Wars movie may technically be a standalone film, but it may as well be the next chapter in the Skywalker saga. I don't know. According to Disney Star Wars, there are no Skywalkers left. They're all dead.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure she's a Palpatine.
Yep. You cannot appropriate the name.
Yeah.
You cannot appropriate the name. She was the main character of the sequel trilogy, and building the new... I hate that New Jedi already, bastards. Would have been a premise of Lucas's episode 7, 8, and 9. As a direct follow-up Rey's story to the Rise of Skywalker, most people will view this movie as Star Wars Episode 10, which is plenty of reason to be excited. That is retarded. It's retarded. That's retarded. No, it's she's not a Skywalker. It's not Star Wars. Daisy Ridley returning as Rey. Daisy Ridley was phenomenal. Really? I mean, I don't have a problem with Daisy Ridley, but no. She was not phenomenal. Incredible emotional depth and elevating every scene.
Weak, forgettable, non-important. It's more a better description.
I wonder, what movies did these people watch where they get this?
They don't watch movies, they watch messages.
Excellent way to put that. Excellent way to put that. It will be exciting to see Ridley's approach to an older Rey, whether her performance is more reserved or if she makes the character more optimistic and cheerful, with so many potential avenues for Rey and her new Jedi Order. Ridley's opportunity to define the character a second time. Yeah, because she wasn't defined the first time. She was a Mary goddamn Sue. She took everything, learned nothing. My God. You're goddess, you're right. Her career has been nothing.
Yep.
Because unless you were Harrison Ford, Star Wars did not make you a movie star. I mean, James Earl Jones was already a movie star when he did the voice of Darth Vader. Carrie Fisher went on to have a behind the scenes career in Hollywood as a script doctor and stuff like that, and all those types of things as a mover and behind the scenes mover and shaker.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill was Mark Hamill. And of course, I'm sorry, and also, of course, Sir Alec Guinness was already a movie star.
You'll be a beloved character and people will love you till they die. But yeah, there's not many massive careers built off of Star Wars. Sorry.
Again, prequel trilogy: Samuel L. Jackson, Ewan McGregor, Liam Neeson, already stars.
Yeah, already had careers.
Natalie Portman already had a career.
Yep.
So yeah, Star Wars doesn't really the only person that became a megastar after Star Wars was Harrison Ford, and that also happened to be because he was also Indiana Jones at the same time. That was just double barrel cool. That turned him into a megastar. So no, she had a nothing career, and if she can go back to this for an easy paycheck. And again, nothing against Daisy Ridley. Because when we're criticizing Star Wars, we're criticizing Rey. We can criticize Daisy Ridley as not being a great actress, but that's a fair thing to talk about. I'm not talking about her character, personality. I'm just saying she's not the most stellar actress out there.
Yeah.
Finally getting to see a Jedi Order being built. Hey, let's steal Luke's storyline from the expanded universe, shall we?
Yeah.
That's great. The Star Wars EU and Lucas's sequel treatment showed Luke Skywalker rebuilding the Jedi Order. At least they acknowledge it. But Disney's sequel trilogy skipped over that period. Rey's Star Wars movie will feature the new Jedi Order on screen for the first time and show how a Jedi Order is built. I don't know. Rey doesn't know a goddamn thing about being a Jedi.
Well,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The thing is, they're gonna make her so OP. They're gonna play like it's 8 years later. She's so massively strong and stuff like that because she's a woman, and so now the Force is truly, right. So yeah, it's just gonna be so sad. It's just gonna be. She's so perfect. She's so great the whole time, even though, like you said, she's a character that no one really cared about. No one really remembers. And
there's only the weird Raylo weirdos and the ex-Twitter assholes who I see come across my timeline constantly. These sequel trilogy defenders who try to tell everybody, "Oh, you can't." I saw one of the favorite little twinks on there talking about how I don't understand how all of you can't realize that Kylo Ren's retelling of Luke trying to kill him maybe didn't happen that way. I can't understand. You all can't understand that. You can't understand how he understands. He just keeps talking about understanding. He's trying to say, "Oh, don't believe his lying version. Luke wouldn't have done that. Don't you people understand perception in movie telling?" So go fuck yourself. I hate this guy. Hate that guy so much. But he's an interaction whore. Is what all he is. Just trying to get interactions. It's bad take machine. Now, what she's also going to do in this thing is she's also going to the new Rey's Jedi Order. It's going to be pushing the gray Jedi bullshit. Is what it's going to do. Like, oh look, Rey's tapping into the light and dark side. She's how the Jedi should have always been. So bullshit. Hussein, don't you say that. Don't you say that. No. Keep Mara's name out of your mouth. don't talk about Mara in Disney Star Wars. All right. A new part of the Star Wars timeline. Rey's movie will start a new Jedi Order era. Oh, I hate the fake timeline they put up. I hate this. As good as the prequels can be, Star Wars is always the most exciting when it ventures into the unknown. Yeah. I got 3 shelves of books that ventured into the unknown, assholes. All right there. Star Wars always most exciting, venturing to the unknown, and Rey's movie will explore a new era in the canon timeline. Gee, devil, look, they're trying to remind you it's the canon timeline again. Yeah. If you got to keep telling us something, maybe it ain't true. This means the narrative will be more gripping because the audience won't know what will happen in the future, creating tension around the fate of every character, except Rey, who will have body armor, plot armor, thicker than Lizzo. And I could say that because Lizzo's in Disney Star Wars. The film can also explore how the new Jedi Order era is unique compared to other parts of the timeline and distinguish itself the same era of the legends. I said the word. Damn it. I was reading and I didn't realize what I was saying. No, yeah, you know how it's going to distinguish itself? It'll be lesser. They are deathly afraid to put anything Disney up against the EU.
Oh yeah.
They are, because heads and shoulders above this garbage. All right, what's the next one? Note, legacy era of Star Wars at the time was set over. Oh, they're talking about the comics. Actually, 120 years to be exact. And it was in the comics, so even though it happened, it was never ratified in the EU book timeline, because if you open up the timeline stops at Crucible. And even though they hinted at characters that were going to be in that era, we never got there. So I was still kind of hoping they would be rewritten a little bit when they got to the books, because we were going to go on a whole Jaina arc, Sword of the Jedi trilogy after Crucible. That's what I was looking forward to. The Skywalker legacy without the Sky. Oh my God. Fuck this. Fuck this. The writers of the sequel trilogy made a bold move. How about a stupid, retarded move? By ending the Skywalker bloodline. But this creates a fascinating opportunity for Rey. She'll have to discover what it means to be. Oh my God. What it means to be a Skywalker. You're either a Skywalker or you're not.
Well, doesn't mean anything now.
Yeah. I mean, how about just what it means to be a Jedi? Because, there were other Jedi out there. If you go in the EU, there are hundreds of other Jedi. The Jedi are more than just the Skywalkers.
Wouldn't you just love if Disney sold Lucasfilm, because they just had to, because they're collapsing and they're pieces of shit.
2 years.
And
2 years. And
some company buys it, that someone like us who really did love Star Wars and says, you know what, I'm gonna take you all the way back and erase everything that Disney's done. All the stuff that Disney's done no longer matters anything. And watch all the Reylos just collapse in.
That's the way, dude. There's a timeline. There's a path in the future where somebody does that, because they're smart enough to look at the landscape and realize the Reylos, the X-Twitter stands, the people who are crying, vomiting, screaming, reading the High Republic, all those weirdos who are this much, they represent this much of the purchasing power of the population. Somebody's going to realize that they hold no power, they don't move the needle, and that we, the actual passionate fans and the normies who are thirsty for the real Star Wars experience, hold it. And we wouldn't blink if they just said, okay, we just bought this. In 2 years, we are the company or the individual who has purchased Lucasfilm from Disney, because Disney needs all this money. We purchased it at a bargain price for $2 billion, because we'll say that's what it's worth. It's not worth the $4 billion George got for it.
Yeah.
But they will realize that by buying it and wiping it out, they win more
Yeah.
because the people who will cry about it are not significant.
Yep. If let's say I could do it tomorrow. Let's say I had $2 billion to give to Disney. I would hate to give them money, but I
Greater
would
good.
do it to get greater good. I would take it. I would tell it I'm eliminating all that, and when I rewrote it, I would follow the EU, like you said, the extended universe. I'd follow that path as much as I could.
Yep.
But one thing I would add, the one thing I would add is that at some point there would be a character that Luke interacted with, whoever I got to play Luke. And she's a retarded person who sweeps like kitchens, and she would look remarkably like Rey.
I pretend I'm a Jedi from Jakku, and I sweep and I
And he would sit there and he'd bring her little like a toy lightsaber. It's like, here you go.
This is we took her on as a Padawan, and she had there was a training accident, and so we just let her pretend that she's still a Padawan, and she just does chores around the temple. It's okay.
Just as an extra stab at the Raylos, I would literally Rey, you missed the spot.
She landed on her head. She can't use the Force anymore, so she's harmless. That lightsaber, it's made of rubber. Don't worry. We don't know what she does with it when she's on her own. But
we let her stick around. She just goes skipping around, going, "I'm a Skywalker. I'm a Skywalker."
Oh man, that would be funny. That would be funny. Yeah, and I would say, go animated. I would at least start animated somehow, some way, with some early EU stuff, and then, I mean, I've said this a bunch of times. They had a window where they could have easily transitioned to new actors to take over for Han, Luke, and Leia. A passing of the torch. They can't do it anymore because Carrie Fisher's dead, and Harrison Ford will never come back because he was happy to have Han get killed off. But you'll just have to recast, plain and simple. If you have the balls to do it, just recast it for not remake the original trilogy, but to bring out the stories that are already there, all written for you. So
get people who are not known. I wouldn't want to use any established actors. I'd want to get own ones that look a lot like the originals, and can have that same feel, have that same.
I would get only people I get known for would be for a villain. You know, I'd get if you're doing the actual Thrawn trilogy, not discount Thrawn from Filoniverse. I'd get somebody major that could pull off being Thrawn. So that's what
they a cool thing would be to go with the story of with Luke and everything in live action movies, but the animated ones because then they have a whole line of books that were the kids, like the young Jedi.
They were Junior Jedi Knights and Young Jedi Knight Adventures.
Do like those in animated
for Jason and Jaina and their generation of knights at the Academy on Yavin 4. I didn't read those because they were for kids. I was like, I don't need to read those. I know some of what happened in those stories because they get referenced in the EU. Most notably, Tenel Ka losing her arm in a practice duel with Jason, and she never had a cybernetic attachment, a cybernetic arm put back on. She goes with just one arm for the rest of her life, or other stuff that goes on there. I know those are whole stories. I don't know them all because again, they were young adult books, and I was already in my 20s when they came out, so I didn't really want to read them.
I would literally just everything that came after the original trilogy, as far as Disney and stuff like that, I would just nip it off, cut it off like it's a cancer. Throw it out.
Well, it is a cancer. What I would do, here's what I would do. First thing I would do is, let's say I'm involved in it. Somebody hires it. They know that I'm big into this stuff. They say, we want you as just a creative advisor, no position. I would say, here's what you're gonna do, dude. First of all, make a big deal, re-release the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy in theaters. But while you're doing that, while you're getting ready, go animate Shadows of the Empire. Make a nice little great high quality animated production file. Go find Gennady Tartakovsky and have him do it. It'll be brilliant genius. Do Shadows of the Empire during the re-release of the stuff. It'll hook people into that. It's a nice little entry to EU. And then when you're done with that, then do it again with Truce at Baccarat right after Return of Jedi. Because Truce at Baccarat starts the next day after the Battle of Endor. It's the next day. And then animate that. Animate Courtship of Princess Leia. Actually, no, wait a minute. Actually, you know what I would do? I would then be ballsy. If you've had success with animating Shadows of the Empire and Truce at Baccarat, I would then be ballsy and go live action for Courtship of Princess Leia, because you have a chance to do a space romance for Han and Leia in full live action glory. Because that's watch my review of it on the book club, which someday I promise we'll get back to, guys. That's one of my favorite EU books. I love Courtship of Princess Leia. It's just a love letter to Han and Leia fans. It's just fantastic. And then you could animate Ghost of Tatooine, but then you go full high-level production value for the Thrawn trilogy. And you go balls to the wall. And if you've gotten that far and you nailed that, then you're back. Then you could do whatever you want. Because then after that, you could do... if it's not the main timeline books, like X-Wings, the X-Wing books, animate X-Wing books. Make those animated. Or TV show. X-Wing books should be TV show. That would be great for a TV show. Yeah, Jay Fraser, I would be okay with it. With a KOTOR if it, stuck to the actual story. And KOTOR too. Because those still work. They're great. I love them. And I'm a fan of Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO, so that the story continued into that. Anyway, all right. Look at this retard here. It also raises whether Rey will have a family or her students are allowed to take the Skywalker name. Shut up. Just shut up. It's not just something handing out. Answers about the rise of Skywalker's ending. What? All right. While The Rise of Skywalker concluded the main story of the sequel trilogy, it also left several mysteries unexplored. The film hinted that Finn was force sensitive and made it possible for him to become a Jedi, and the New Republic still needed to be rebuilt after the defeat of the First Order. Since Palpatine returned once, that should be once, not one. God, garbage editing. Once already. It was never clarified if he was gone for good. Something Rey may have to oh my God, no. Don't bring
Palpatine back again?
Listen, it works in Dark Empire because they made it clear it was his soul being transferred from one clone body to another. And it even breaks down farther if you read Darksaber that he'd been doing it for years because his dark side power just would eat his body alive. So he would just be transferring his soul from one clone body to another. But to bring him back again, that would be retarded. No one cares about these other storylines. Nobody cares. Connecting to the Dawn of Jedi movie. Okay, I know some people like James Mangold. James Mangold can, take a long walk off a short pier as far as I'm concerned. Giant crybaby. And he's already going to... They're going to butcher Dawn of the Jedi. They're going to butcher it. Race of the Jedi Order will take Star Wars into the future as James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie takes audiences into the past, revealing the origin of the first Jedi because Rey learned from the original. I hate it that in Disney Star Wars, they're reading books for these things. Look at the prequels, the Jedi Temple. It was all digital, for lack of a better phrase. They were on data chips and holocrons, not books. That is why fucking Ryan Johnson is a fucking retard talking about just doesn't know what the hell he's doing when you're having the ancient Jedi text be actual books. They were all digital. Holocrons. Ugh. A Jedi library is on data disks, holocrons, and stuff like that, not parchment. And the fact that they run with this shit is retarded. Just retarded. I mean, you see two versions. No, don't connect it. That see, all that would be is an excuse to try and use one to try and legitimize the other. A version of robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's just retarded. New villains that the Sith or aren't Sith or an Empire. Okay, let's bastardize the Vong. Yeah, that sounds great. Assists are the perfect foils for the Jedi and incredible villains, but it's time for the Star Wars movies to introduce new antagonists. The First Order was essentially Empire 2.0, and then the Rise of Skywalker made Palpatine and the Sith the main villains of all three Star Wars trilogies. The new Jedi Order in the EU faced the Yuuzhan Vong, a warrior race from beyond the known galaxy, while Luke's sequels would have had the crime syndicates band together against the New Republic. Ray's new Star Wars movie can adapt these ideas or introduce something fresh and exciting. Gee, they're trying to do that in the High Republic, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. That's retarded. It's more butchering. Wow. Possible references to the actual new Jedi Order. Characters and locations could carry over to the canon. So just butcher and pillage. Like you've been, Devil, they've been doing that for a decade already. Pillaging the EU for ideas. That's just retarded. That's not a thing. Rey can call on almost any Force ghost. Ugh.
Oh my God!
They just want that as an excuse to roll out Hayden Christensen as Anakin again.
Yep.
That's all that's for. To have Obi-Wan be new Force ghost. I mean, Ewan McGregor be new Force ghost Obi-Wan. That's all that is. That's cheap. That's all that would be. It's meaningless. And the thing about Force ghosts that again Rian Johnson and Disney sequel trilogy broke. They don't directly interfere.
Well, the thing with this Force Ghost too is now that we have the ability to project people who are died, that's exactly what you're looking at there. They'll be able to bring back Leia and stuff like that with fake actors so that they can still get member berries, even though they are all dead or they've killed them, you know?
Ahsoka. Everything Hayden Christensen was member berry.
Yeah.
There was no actual substance to it. And that's all this would be. And then it defeats the purpose, the point of a Force ghost. They aren't supposed to interact. When you are a Force ghost on the light side, you are a part of the living Force. You have access to all the power of the Force because you're not constrained by a physical form anymore. You are pure Force energy. There's a reason they don't wield that power. Obi-Wan was specific. If you choose to face Darth Vader, I cannot help you. Can't do it. Can't do it. It just proves that these idiots who write this, the idiots who got us here in the first place, Rian Johnson, Jar Jar, they don't know anything about Star Wars. They don't understand anything about Star Wars. And this proves, reading that list, it proves these people hate the concepts George came up with because all they want to do is rewrite it all. That's all they want to do. They don't want to adhere to the rules. They want to write fan fiction that breaks rules, that fits with crazy ideas that they just want to make happen, but they can't do it if they have to follow the world building restrictions. 2 years, 2026. When KK leaves at the end of next year, we have 1 year of a patsy. And then in 2026, we'll hear rumblings of Lucasfilm being ready to be sold. That's my timeline for this. It'll happen because they need the money because they're not going to make any money. They didn't make any money this year. They've only, Disney only has what? 3 movies coming out next year? Inside Out 2. Black Falcon. No, Black Falcon Captain America's been pushed back to 25. Snow White. Snow White. No, I'm sorry. Snow White's 2025 as well. Snow White's 2025 as well. Let me see, let me plug it in before we wrap this up here. Let's see if I can answer this question. Disney movies in 2024. Disney movies releasing in 2024. Okay. Okay, we'll go to Wiki because Wiki's not great for a lot of things, but it's not it's good for just straight up factual information like this that they can't fudge. All right, so I'll zoom in a little bit for you guys. Okay, 2024. Because it's a Fox Studios, the first Omen. Yeah, people are really excited for that one, I hear. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That's a dead franchise.
Yeah.
That's a dead franchise. That's not going to make money. Inside Out 2. Nobody. Do people even care about Inside Out 1?
Nope.
And now now apparently the character is going to be a teenager. And now everybody's speculating, is she going to be gay? Because that might what be the anxiety is about. So an anxiety thing. Great. Yeah. Deadpool 3. Could be an outlier. But I don't know. I don't trust it. Alien Romulus. Oh, the Alien franchise. Yeah, another dead franchise that has been murdered. That's been murdered. The Amateur. I don't even know what that is. And then Mufasa, a Lion King prequel. Devil, with the exception of Deadpool 3, do any of these movies you think have a chance to make any sort of significant profit for Disney?
No.
Let me see if I see.
No.
Let me see if I know.
I mean, I'm not seeing it. I could be wrong.
I don't see it. I see Deadpool 3 is the only outlier because it's Deadpool. It's not directly connected to the MCU, and people are hot to see Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman on the screen together. They're hot for that. Let me see if this will tell me what the budget on this is here, real quick. Let me see. Let me type that in. I'm curious if they have the budget for this. If I could type. Nope. Apparently it's not there. So no budget for that yet. But I would wager Battle for Kingdom Planet of the Apes is minimum $200 million.
Oh yeah, with how much CG they have to do for all the apes and stuff, yeah. It's definitely going to be a high
minimum. And I think that movie will go. It's going to be fart on the wind.
Yeah, it's like what the fifth or sixth one now,
something like that. And I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan of the original Planet of the Apes movies from the 60s and the 70s. I wasn't into
actually like those better than the new ones.
I don't like the new ones at all. I don't like them at all. I mean, it didn't make sense to me. The one Rise of the Planet of the Apes where the Caesar character ape and they all declare war. I'm sorry. A few dozen apes are not going to beat the military.
Yeah.
That just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
One freaking attack chopper could mow them all down.
Yeah. A smaller force can hold off a bigger force on like their own land and stuff if they have some, advantage that way and stuff. But yes, modern military, large numbers, I don't care how smart the monkeys are. Yeah. They're not going to be able to stop them. Sorry, just not going to do it.
A fighter jet could just continually strafe with guns and missiles. There's no way they were going to overtake humans. The only way, the reason the original Planet of the Apes worked is because the world went through a nuclear war, and the apes evolved and took the place. You bastards, you did it. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
whole thing of it. They didn't overthrow the humans. They just rose up when
Took
humankind,
advantage.
took advantage, and humankind blasted itself uh into near extinction.
Yeah.
That's why that worked. It doesn't
Not
work
to
if there's a
mention
rebellion.
Not to mention, why would they even need to pick up anything? We already know that they were dealing with biological things because the first one has that disease take out a lot of mankind. Why don't they just make a fucking disease that kills all the monkeys?
These modern day Planet of the Apes movies, they make no sense. They were never entertaining to me. And like I just said, I don't hate them. I'm just not into the original movies. I'm just not into them. I never was. I tried, but it's just that that's not going to make money. I don't see anything on that list except Deadpool that makes money. So we're looking at another. What were those 7 movies there? I think we counted 7.
Yeah.
7 more either flops to to barely break evens to maybe one makes a profit if even. And at this point, because of the delays, Deadpool 3's budget is probably well over $250 million at this point.
Yeah. And
Well over.
until then, you also have Disney Plus eating into
Yep.
making no money, costing them a
Yep.
shit ton of money. It doesn't look like anything's going to bring people back to the amusement parks at this point.
No.
Yeah. Disney's future is looking very bleak. I'm really glad that my parents took their retirement savings out of Disney.
Oh,
like years
good.
ago, I told them to. I said,
Oh,
this is
wow.
going to crash soon. And so they pulled it
Good call.
out.
Good
Yeah.
call. I mean, the Disney looks like 2024 is going to be another disaster for Disney. Their movie lineup, pathetic. As you just said, the Disney Plus lineup, even more pathetic. The theme parks, we know there's problems there. What else you got? Merch? No merch ain't there. The
Yeah.
merch ain't there. And so they're going to lose. This could be another stellar year of losses. And again, I predict that in the next 4 or 5 months, we will hear that Kathleen Kennedy will not be renewing her contract and she will exit at the end of 2024, which means whether it's Dave Filoni or one of the other cancerous lumps that are on the Lucasfilm executive board will take over. There'll be a patsy for 2025. They will sit there. They will watch that crumble because then we get 2025. That's when the Rey movie comes out. That's when the Mandoverse movie comes out. And oh boy, howdy, I cannot wait for that. We will watch all that fail. And then when 2026 rolls around and they lose another $1 billion on Lucasfilm and Disney still isn't making money on anything, because then remember, 2025 is when you have all the glorious MCU and other live action movies coming out. Snow White, Black Falcon, Captain America. Probably looks like they're going to do Shang-Chi too.
Oh,
all the shows.
Did you hear that they're actually might do a She-Hulk season 2, a Miss Marvel season 2?
No, I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, and then one other one they were gonna do. Moon Knight. Even though all of them didn't do very well, Moon Knight I think did the best out of the 3, but they were all failures, and they're gonna give them another season 2, even though they said that the She-Hulk season I think cost $250 million, right?
For the whole season.
Yeah, and it freaking was the shittiest thing. They're gonna do it again?
Yeah. And what I love though, and this dropped before we went live. It's a video tomorrow with what you just said. I'll see if I can combine things to it. They've just announced that the dude who wrote Loki season 2 will be writing Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars.
You mean the freaking season that has had a 50% drop in viewership?
Yeah.
That was their most successful TV show, and it dropped off 50%. And yeah, what we're gonna do? Oh, we're gonna make him write some more stuff.
They're still calling it Kang Dynasty. So the rumors that they were gonna run away from Kang, I guess not.
Yeah.
I guess not if they're still calling it Avengers Kang Dynasty, and he's gonna write Secret Wars too. So there you go. It's all gonna burn, which is why as I keep saying, when Kathleen Kennedy goes, wait a year, they're going to need money because Lucasfilm, it's a black hole. They lost $1 billion on Lucasfilm this year. They had to have. Indiana Jones Dial-Up of Destiny only made what, 300 odd million, and it needed $1 billion to break even. So it lost probably around $700-800 million on Dial-Up of Destiny alone. Then you add in all the money they spent on each of the Disney Plus shows that didn't make money. You add in Willow. You add in the fact that the High Republic doesn't sell except to about 5,000 weirdos on X Twitter. Yeah, HasLab managed to get that Ghost ship off, but that's HasLab. They're making that money. Disney doesn't get a cut of that. That's a license. They get their little licensing. So they lost. Lucasfilm easily lost over $1 billion this year. How do you hold on to that? What? Because no one's there. You're not getting anything off no one's buying original trilogy or prequel trilogy stuff to offset that. People say they can squeeze that dry forever to make money. No amount of squeezing that dry offsets $1 billion in losses this year. And I don't have the hard numbers. I'm just looking at the facts of everything we know that failed and the costs that they incurred.
I can't wait that in like freaking like 7-10 years, we're going to have a documentary called The Rise and Fall of Disney, where it's going to show how a company that was so powerful in the industry could literally, utterly kill itself in like 10 years.
God, if we're still doing the YouTube thing at that point, and I hope to be, but I hope my YouTube channel is transformed to just me talking about my franchises that I've created in books, and I'm not doing the daily pop culture thing anymore. Others have risen up to take my place. Then I will take a break from just talking about my stuff to talk about that. If that happens, I will say, okay, guys, we're going to go old school here, and we're going to talk some Disney Star Wars news. I would take a break from that, and it'll happen. The book's already been written. It's already been written. We don't need to wait another 3 years to know how it ends. We know how it ends. Failure, disaster, worthless.
As long as they keep going on this road, and it doesn't look like anything's going to deter them except for that one guy who's trying to do the hostile takeover. But every other thing shows that even every time they tell us, oh, we're going to change, we're going to stop, don't worry, with all that stuff you hate, we're going to stop doing that. Then they do it again. I mean,
and it doesn't even, that dude's not even legitimate because he got bought off last time. What's to say he's not going to get bought off again?
Yeah.
Or placated again. I mean, Disney's never going to go anywhere. It is too big a company. It's got too many roots and it's divested in too many areas. But the things it purchased can go away.
Oh, yeah.
And the first one will be Lucasfilm. The next one after that will be Pixar.
Yeah.
Because Pixar's not making money. And then I would say the MCU will go at some point too, because there's only so much you can do. All right, Legata says he's tracked it down. $190 million for Kingdom Planet Apes. That's got to be more. It's got to be over 200 million. I don't trust that. It's got to be. That's over. Even so, that movie doesn't make a lot of money. Let me see. Let me do that real quick. Hang on. Let me do that. It is 190. We'll say 190. We'll do it. Hang on. I need to use calculators. I can't do math, man. They say 450. Or sorry, God says they expect me 450. Yeah, it doesn't even break even. The break-even point is 475. So if their predictions are true, if their projections are true, Kingdom Planning Games will lose about $50 million. $25 million. Sorry, $25 million. Good job.
I don't even know if he'll make that.
Yeah, I
think that's a high expectation.
Yeah, I don't think it'll make that at all. And not make that. All right. Well, we are nearing midnight. Been going for almost 3 hours, which means we're done here. All right, Devil. You had a good X-Men one on Get Ranked last night. Not enough fighting. They didn't fight enough for my taste last night. They were all pretty agreeable. last night. What do you got coming up on Get Ranked next week?
Next week we are doing Godzilla Kaiju.
Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. So you're talking all the Godzilla? Is Godzilla on the list, or is it just his enemies?
It's
His
Godzilla
allies?
and any of the things. I
Okay.
don't think I'm gonna add all the newer ones in. I think I'm gonna cut it off at a certain point. But all the old
I'd
kaijus,
cut it off in the 90s. I'd cut it off in the 90s.
because I already got like 35 from the original thing. So
Yeah.
I think adding in more just because they're in the newer movies would just be.
Yeah, I'm gonna say right now, the G-Man is GOAT, King Ghidorah is GOAT, Mecha Godzilla is GOAT. Those are like off the top of my head. Gigan is also GOAT. I could tell. All right, that's gonna be a fun one. I'm looking forward to that. All right, guys, and rest of the week, let's see for here on the channel. Tomorrow night, I'll be over on Dermies with Devil and the others for Dermies late night, whatever hell he's calling it. He keeps complaining about changing the name. But expect 3 videos tomorrow. I'm going to try for 3 videos tomorrow, guys. Wednesday, Natural 20. I'm starting to be annoyed about something. I'm putting it together in my head. It'll happen. Then Friday, Ball Busters. Saturday, if you haven't heard about it, Jed has chosen our movie for the week. We're doing Batman Returns. And we have a guest. Melee James is joining us. First time on this channel. That should be fun. We know that James can get pretty rowdy on a stream. So Melee James is joining us for Batman Returns on Saturday Night Drive-In this Saturday. And then on Sunday, we got Roundtable and Star Trek Engage. What is the episode? I just watched it the other day. I got it right here. Hang on a second. Arena. Oh, yes. Oh, God. Ryan's not gonna survive Engage this week, is he, Devil? It's
Probably
the
not.
It's the Gorn. It's the Gorn.
He's gonna be touching his nipples.
It's the Gorn. The jokes write themselves considering the memes the Lord has developed around Engage. So join us for Engage, 4:15 p.m. Eastern. And again, guys, join us for Roundtable this week because, guys, it's episode 100 of the Roundtable, or roughly. I don't have the exact, but I'm calling it 100 from when we restarted, when Grunt joined me. But it's basically 100. So, guys, join us on a Roundtable. I don't know what really we had planned aside from the news. I'm trying to figure it out because I've never done something like this before. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks everybody for hanging out. We appreciate you sticking around with us. If you have had a good time watching now or on the replay, we encourage you to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Subscribe to Devil with Beelzebub, link in the description below. And check out everything else. We hope you guys have a good rest of your week, whether we see you or not. And there will be some gaming at some point this week. I'll try it probably Wednesday. I don't know about Thursday. I got a thing to do on Thursday, so I won't be home on time. But once again, thanks, guys. I appreciate everything you chat. We love you. Thanks again, guys. We'll take it easy. We'll see you next time. Good night.